Window replacement needs or applications. Visit Brooklyn Window and Doors award-winning showroom to see the complete Anderson product line, including the 400, 100 A&E series. Anderson, built, backed, and serviced like no other window.
Visit Brooklyn Window and Door at 185 30th Street in Brooklyn or call 718-WINDOWS.
Step inside an Infiniti QX60 and relax in uninterrupted comfort. Leave schedules, appointments, and meetings behind. That can definitely wait. Just turn on the available massage seats and unwind for just a little longer until you feel infinitely you. Discover more about the Infiniti QX60 crossover at InfinityUSA.com.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
And welcome back to Madison Square Garden as we count down to tip-off of game number 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Knicks and the Pacers. The New York Knicks pregame show on ESPN New York is brought to you by Infiniti. So the Knicks have been in a bunch of spots during this postseason already where a win was imperative, but this is the first true must-win game. If the Knicks don't win today, the Pacers go on to the NBA Finals, and the Knicks season ends right here, trailing 3-1, trying to get it back to Indianapolis for game number 6. Tom Thibodeau, when he met with the media a short time ago, was asked if he expects a different effort from his team, given that this is indeed an elimination game.
And it's the playoffs, and you try to build that habit over the course of the season with the understanding of how important each possession is. You don't know at the end of the day, which possession is going to make the difference, so you fight to win every one of them. And hopefully in the end, you've made more winning plays than they have. But that's where the concentration level is so important. Your discipline is so important. Your discipline helps you get past distractions. And so there's a lot of emotion involved. You have to keep giving maximum effort combined with the concentration and discipline.
Time for this date in Knicks history. A couple of special Knicks birthdays on this date. May 27th, 1932, Hall of Famer Richie Guerin was born in the Bronx. And May 27th, 1984, soon-to-be Hall of Famer Carmelo Anthony is born in Brooklyn. Happy 41st birthday, Carmelo Anthony. And how about this one? May 27th, 2000, 25 years ago today, the Knicks beat the Pacers 91-89 here at the Garden in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals to tie that series at 2. Larry Johnson, 25 points leading the way. He was 5 for 5 from downtown. That win 25 years ago today was the Knicks' most recent victory in the conference finals here at the Garden. The Pacers have taken the floor to a chorus of boos for their pregame warm-ups. Their head coach, Rick Carlisle, is there something about a closeout game that makes this one harder to win than the others?
Yeah, it's just always harder. I think the reasons are pretty obvious. It's one team's trying to move on and the other team's trying to, stay alive. So it's never not the hardest game.
As the Knicks take the floor for their pregame warm-ups, Jalen Brunson just entering the playing area to loud cheers here at the Garden. One more from Tom Thibodeau before the game on the approach here in game number 5.
You just take it game by game. You got to keep fighting every game, every possession, and they're one possession game, and so you got to make things go your way.
Getting closer to tip-off as the Knicks look to keep their season alive tonight. The New York Knicks pregame show on ESPN New York is brought to you by Infiniti. When we come back, Monica McNutt will set the stage for us with her thoughts and keys to tonight's game. I'm Pat O'Keefe, and you're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to drive smarter with high-tech features and excellent reliability. Check out the Honda Civic, Accord, or HR-V. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 4.99% APR on a 2025 Civic or a 3.99% APR on a 2025 Accord or HR-V.
Contact your local Honda dealer for a great deal today. See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic Si and Type R.
Total Ortho Express is a state-of-the-art orthopedic care center with 4 Long Island locations: East Meadow, Syosset, Massapequa, and Deer Park. Injuries can happen at any time and can often require immediate attention. Total Ortho Express provides immediate walk-in orthopedic care from highly awarded specialists and surgeons, instead of waiting in an emergency room or a general urgent care. Total Ortho Express is open 7 days a week with extended hours, so that our patients have convenient and immediate access to the care they need. Learn more at TotalOrthoExpress.com.
This is the sound no parent wants to hear. It's the sound of a child with whooping cough, one of the many dangerous childhood diseases that can be prevented by immunizations. Whooping cough can cause serious complications, including pneumonia, seizures, brain swelling, and even death. Babies are most at risk. The best way to protect your child against diseases like this is to get all your kids' shots on time and take them for regular checkups. Talk to your child's healthcare provider. A message from the New York State Department of Health.
Hey Knicks fans, be the MVP of your next summer barbecue or family dinner with the fresh taste of Calandra's Bakery Breads. Available at your local supermarket. Handmade daily with just 4 all-natural ingredients. From crusty Italian loaves to soft rolls and hearty multigrain, there's something for everyone. Since 1962, Calandra's Bakery has delivered fresh bread to supermarkets like ShopRite, King's, D'Agostino's, Key Foods, and more. Calandra's Bakery, the best in Italian and French breads.
Almost time for Game 5 back here at the Garden. Welcome to the New York Knicks pregame show on ESPN New York. It is brought to you by Infinity. Pat O'Keefe now joined by Monica McNutt, who's on the call tonight with Tyler Murray. Monica, Tom Thibodeau was asked about mindset coming into an elimination game beforehand. Rick Carlisle spoke about why the final game of a series is the most difficult win to get. But from the Knicks' perspective, everything on the line, their season on the line, how, if at all, is the mindset different coming into this game?
I don't know that it can be, Pat, and hear me out. My key in the television broadcast pregame was composed urgency. And so I think, like, commonly in locker room pregame, you hear lock in, right? And yes, your back is against the wall, you're fighting for your season. But I think if you are too keyed up, that also is a negative. And so I think there's a fine line in terms of understanding the appropriate level of urgency for the moment, but allowing that to be fire that burns or fire that warms as opposed to a fire that burns. These guys are pros. They're competitors. They're pros. If you got to get particularly amped up for a potential elimination game, then you're probably in the wrong industry.
Several areas we could point to as to why they lost game number 4 and have struggled at times during this series. But the turnovers, 17 of them in game number 4. Now, you spoke to Tom Thibodeau before the game about what he was seeing, but as you were sitting there watching, what were you seeing that led to those miscues?
I just felt like it was moments of unfocus, of a lack of focus. I keep throwing in front of things. Let me stop doing that. I just felt like it looked like moments of a lack of focus. It looked like predetermined decisions often, and we sort of joke in the media about Tom Thibodeau's common refrain, the game tells you what to do. But it did not look like the players were allowing the game to tell them what to do in the moments where they had these turnovers that either led to those 20 points or it robbed them of momentum in opportunities where I felt like they were making a real push to try to get game 4 out of Indy.
All right, game 5, win or go home. Let's get to your Knicks keys to the game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers.
All right, so my first key in this one, I'm going to go back to that phrase I used, is composed urgency. And that to me is the appropriate level of focus, eliminating turnovers, eliminating silly mistakes. The second key is, in fact, turnovers. You can't spot this team 20 points. You just can't do that, especially in a closeout game. There's nothing more that I think Halliburton would like to do than to have that choke signal be appropriate. And I just don't want to see Indiana celebrate here at the Garden at all. The last key for me, Pat, is 114 points. That has been the magic number for the Indiana Pacers in this postseason. If the Knicks can hold them under 114 points, they're 11-0 when they have 114. If they can hold them under 114, they're going to give themselves a chance, as the Pacers have been 0-3 when they score less than that. So I think tonight, as much as we can call out defense and all of that, we know who this Pacers team are. I think tonight we know who this Pacers team is. I think tonight is going to require a high level of efficiency from the Knicks offensively.
No question about it. Monica, have a great call.
Thank you, Pat.
That was the Knicks keys to the game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Discover what happens when rugged capability meets true performance. Learn more at kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires. And the New York Knicks pregame show on ESPN New York has been brought to you by Infinity. Coming up next, it is game number 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Knicks and the Indiana Pacers here at the Garden. Tyler Murray and Monica McNutt have the call. I'll be back with you at halftime, breaking down the first half with Wally Zerbiak. Enjoy the game, everyone. New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
This has been the Infinity New York Knicks pregame show. Get ready. New York Knicks basketball is coming right up.
This is Jalen Brunson. I'll be driving to my games this season in style in my new Jeep Gladiator from Princeton Jeep. My friends at Princeton Jeep gave me the all-star treatment, and you can expect the same thing too. Just mention that I sent you, and they'll treat you like family. Princeton Jeep has tons of inventory, great deals, and all new and used vehicles. Visit Princeton Jeep at 1045 State Road in Princeton, New Jersey, or online at PrincetonJeeps.com and tell them Jalen sent you.
Spring has finally arrived, and if you think a new central air conditioning system is out of your budget, think again. Sloman's is here to change the game with our Spring Fling sale. We're now offering cutting-edge 18-SEER 2025 refrigerant-compliant R454B systems, expertly installed by our certified technicians, all at the lowest prices of the year. That's right, get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. And we're including a comprehensive service plan for the first 5 years with annual system checks to keep your AC running smoothly all summer long. Servicing Nassau, Suffolk, and Queens County. Call Sloman's at 516-932-7000 for your free estimate. But hurry, these cool savings won't last. That's 516-932-7000. 18-month promo period, no payment, no interest, and no down payment offer. The offer is available through a third-party bank. On approved credit, interest is waived if loan is repaid in full during the same as cash period. Terms and conditions apply.
When you open a Corona, you hear the sounds of wherever you are a little differently. A little more Corona. And you think to yourself, why am I just listening? Corona. La Playa awaits. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
And the party is on here in Indianapolis. The Pacers have taken a 3-1 series lead in the Eastern Conference Finals.
New York Knicks basketball is on the air.
Obviously, our backs against the wall. We're disappointed with the position that we're in right now, but we don't quit.
The New York Knicks. Are you ready?
We've been a team that has found a way to do the impossible when it always seemed impossible. We keep fighting, so it's going to be a testament to our whole playoff run. You know, now we have to be in one of the biggest fights of our lives and of our season.
Knicks basketball starts right now. Live from Madison Square Garden for the Eastern Conference Finals, the Knicks versus the Pacers. It's Game 5. Now here's Monica McNutt, and with the play-by-play, here's Tyler Murray on the MSG Radio Network.
If not now, then when? That's what a lot of folks up here are asking on Press Row as the Knicks get set to defend their season against the Indiana Pacers, trailing the Eastern Conference Finals 3-1, and they'll have a chance to defend home court, hoping to get their first win in the series in 3 tries against the Pacers at MSG. Welcome aboard, everybody. Alongside Monica McNutt, I'm Tyler Murray. We are locked and loaded for Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. A lot to dive into, but first let's pause 10 seconds to allow stations to identify themselves on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Hey, this is Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson for 3.
And this is your home for New York Knicks basketball. This is 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS FM HD2, New York.
From the Mecca of basketball, New York City, Madison Square Garden hosting the Knicks and the Pacers for Game 5. After falling behind 2-0 in the series, Monica, it was always going to be a tough ask for the Knicks to go into Indiana and win 2 games in 3 days there. But they've done enough to inspire a little bit of hope that if they force a Game 6, which would be back in Indiana on Saturday, one standalone game on the road doesn't seem impossible. But, of course, it starts tonight. What is your hope meter looking like for the Knicks to try to pull off the first 3-1 comeback since the bubble playoffs in 2020?
Well, Tyler, I try my best to be consistent, and you and I, in chatting with our fans via Instagram prior to Game 4, said if Game 4 did not go the way that Knicks fans would hope we still felt like this team had found something in Game 3, and so I'm going to hold on to that. I think that there is pride here. I think that there is confidence here. I think this team does not want to see the Pacers celebrate here in the Garden, and I think they're going to have to dig deep, and they understand that. They got to dig deep in terms of protecting their home court tonight here in Game 5.
Do you think that Game 4 was more winnable than the 9-point deficit at the final horn would display? In other words, do you think this Knicks team is good enough to take 3 games in a row from the Pacers, considering the entire point differential across 4 games is just plus 11 for Indiana?
You don't know until you try.
Yeah.
I understand, and especially if you look at Vegas right now, I understand that is a tall task, and the odds are stacked against the Knicks. But the first step to getting 3 would be to get this game here tonight. And so I think you take it literally one game at a time, and beyond that, a possession at a time. I was disappointed in Game 4 immensely, and I do think that the game was much closer than the 9 points suggested. I thought that there were some critical moments where the team lacked focus, and that was the part that was frustrating to me, because I have watched this team. We have watched this team pull out 20-point deficits, find a way, and part of finding a way is being smart when you are presented with opportunities.
Yeah, they had 14 turnovers to Indiana's 11 in that game. Actually, it was 17 to 11 with Knicks giveaways. We'll get to the official starting lineups and opening tip in just a bit, but first, let's send it down to the voice of MSG, Mike Walszewski.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena, for Game 5 of the 2025 NBA Eastern Conference Finals presented by Lexus. Tonight's matchup features the Indiana Pacers and your New York Knicks. Now, if you are able, please rise, remove your hats. Here to present our nation's colors, please welcome the Fire Department of New York. And here to perform the Star-Spangled Banner, introducing Emmy Award-winning Billboard chart-topping violinist, Damian Escobar. Damian Escobar.
Wonderful rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. And over 19,000 fans here at MSG, hoping that's not the last time they'll hear the national anthem in these hallowed grounds before the season is over. The Knicks have lost 3 of the first 4 games in this series. They need to win 3 of the final 3. And of course, they won't get a chance to come back here on what would be a Monday night Game 7 unless they win here this evening and then go to Indiana for Game 6 and win it there on Saturday. But of course, one game at a time. Certainly a cliche, but it feels so fitting in a series like this for each of the first 4 games. Absolutely could have gone the Knicks' way or the Pacers' way. Let's get to the officials, brought to you by London Jewelers. It's a Zach Zarba crew this evening. Zarba was the crew chief for the Game 1 Pacer win here in the series opener. Josh Tiven and James Williams on the crew as well. Those are your officials, brought to you by London Jewelers. Visit them today at any of their 7 locations, including the Americana Mall and the mall at Short Hills. Starting lineups for the visiting Pacers. No changes for Rick Carlisle. Tyrese Halliburton and Andrew Nembhard in the backcourt. Halliburton had what a lot of people are calling a perfect game, and on the surface, yeah, pretty impressive what he did in Game 4. A 32-point triple-double, 15 assists, 12 rebounds, and perhaps most impressively, he did not turn the ball over. But I'm going to call it a no-hitter because he shot 48% from the field. Tough to have a perfect game when you shoot below 50%. Andrew Nembhard did not have a perfect game. He was 1 of 9 from the field on Tuesday, but still managed to have a +3 rating by the end of the night. Aaron Nesmith and Pascal Siakam on the wings. Nesmith listed as questionable again with that ankle injury, but he's back in there, shooting 52% from downtown in the playoffs. That's the best in the NBA postseason. Pascal Siakam had a 30-point night overshadowed on Tuesday by the triple-double from Tyrese Halliburton. 11 fourth-quarter points from Pascal Siakam, including a big three-pointer that made it a 9-point game with just 4 minutes left. So many of the Knicks comebacks have obviously been fueled by missed shots from the team that's leading. We saw plenty of that in the Celtics series, but a shot like Siakam made, that essentially ended the comeback bid. In the middle, it's Miles Turner, and frankly, the Knicks have done a good job keeping him in check so far. He's just 4 for 17 in this series. His shooting, scoring, and rebounding all down compared to the first 2 series in the playoffs. So continue tipping your cap to Karl Anthony Towns, who's had himself a very impressive series, maybe even better than you might imagine. We'll start with him with the Knicks starting lineup. Towns is averaging in this series 26 points, 12 rebounds, and shooting 46% from downtown. He's 10 of 22 from beyond the arc. So Towns, who will share the front court with Mitchell Robinson again, is going to be asked to put together another impressive effort. He's had back-to-back 24-point double-doubles. Then in the backcourt, Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges, and OG Anunoby at the 3. Bridges, for the first time in a while, got to see the ball go through the hoop from downtown at a consistent level in Game 4. He was 4 of 5 from three-point land. Maybe a little deceptive because in the fourth quarter there were 2 corner shots that he missed with his foot on the line, so those, of course, did not go in the box score as three-pointers, but anything you can do to get Bridges in rhythm is going to greatly improve New York's chances to win. When it's game time, it's Tully time. The opening tip is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the all-new Tullamore Dew Honey during tonight's action. Knicks are back in their association white uniforms. It says New York on the front in orange, numbers in orange on front and back, and the last names are in blue on the back of the uniform above the numbers. And the Pacers are in their gold unis. Pretty sure they've worn these the entire series. It says Indiana on the front in navy blue, same color for the numbers on front and back. As we will tip it off in just a moment. Monica McNutt, we have not seen a good start from the Knicks at any point in this series. In fact, it's been a bit of a puzzling trend the entire postseason. Of course, they've earned their way to Game 5 in the third round of the playoffs. With Minnesota being eliminated, the Knicks are one of the final 3 teams standing in the NBA. But what's it going to take to get off to a better start in a literal must-win Game 5?
What I will say is that the slow starts are becoming more and more taxing as this series wanes. A good start, to me, is deliberate on both sides of the basketball. The stats on the Pacers in the first 9 seconds are off the charts. They're shooting like 60+% when they score in the first 9 seconds. You have to make them play deeper into the shot clock, and for the Knicks, you have to get a quality look. And tonight's got to be a night where the rim is as big as an ocean.
Standing on the big orange basketball logo at center court, Robinson wins the tip from Turner, and Game 5 is underway. Knicks down in the series 3-1. Pacers hoping for a series-clinching win and a trip to Oklahoma City next Wednesday. At the dotted line, Brunson starts the scoring with a left-hand floater, and the crowd is into it early, 2-0 New York.
So interesting from the Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton off the ball to start as Andrew Nembhard brought it up against OG Anunoby.
Nembhard right side perimeter, slip pass inside to Turner, caught it, lost it, came back down. That's a travel called by Zach Zarba, and the Knicks force a turnover on the opening defensive possession.
In the second round versus the Boston Celtics, Jalen Brunson used the phrase subliminally satisfied. Some of that creeping in for the Pacers would be human nature. It would certainly be welcomed if that meant that they were a little bit inefficient and not as high-paced.
You cannot fake urgency or the desperation of a team hoping to keep their season alive. Here's Towns out high against Siakam, dishes right to Robinson, 24 feet away from the basket. He'll hand to Brunson, who dribbles to the right baseline, step back leaner over Neesmith, nailed it. Brunson's off to a 2-for-2 start, and it's 4-0 Knicks.
I like the actions, though, for Brunson. He's not just coming down and pounding the rock the entire the entire 10 seconds or so to start the shot clock.
Brunson had 43 in game one, and the Knicks force another turnover. Pass inside, tipped over to Anunoby. Bridges on the move, spins into a double team down low, gets it back up top to Towns. Long three, in and out for the top of the arc. Rebound tipped out of bounds off of Neesmith, they'll say, to the right baseline. The Knicks will inbound, up by 4. 10:41 to go in the opening frame, and they'll have 14 back on the shot clock.
I like that look by Karl-Anthony Towns. From my bird's eye view, I could tell that it was a little bit short. It actually got more in the rim than I anticipated from where we were watching.
I thought it was nothing but net personally.
Did you? Okay.
Brunson left side drive. I didn't play at Georgetown though. Pump fake, leans in, trying to draw a foul. No luck, but it rolls in anyway. Maybe it's that kind of night for Brunson. He's 3 for 3. It's 6-0 New York.
Assistant coaches for the Pacers as well as Carlisle are telling them to move with pace. Get up the floor.
Turner wide open, left point triple. That's good. Karl-Anthony Towns caught sagging back a little bit. It's a 6-3 ball game.
The matchup on the bigs is one that I find fascinating. Neither is really effective at stopping the other. Cat has a little bit of an advantage because it doesn't feel like Miles Turner looks to attack as much, but he's a little bit better with his back to the basket.
Brunson has a heavier than usual wrap on his left wrist here this evening. Gets a screen on the left from Robinson. Pick and roll. Alley-oop. One-hand jam. A right-hand hammer from Robinson. And an 8-3 Knick lead.
That left wrap, it looks like it's his arm sleeve that's fell. It's usually up to his elbow. It did look very chunky around his wrist.
Okay, that is a relief, yes. He's pulled it back, so it is just a sleeve. Not a sign of a potential injury as Siakam misses a straight-on 3 off to the right, and the Knicks take over up by 5.
I love this OG Anunoby. Well, he's away from the block now, but the initial attempt to post, I'm a fan of.
Tries his one dribble rip-through move on Nembhard and does draw the foul, but they say before the shot. 5-point Knick lead, 9:22 to go in the first. Or no, they gave him continuation, so Anunoby 2 free throws at the basket to our right.
This is the start that you wanted, that's for sure. Effective, aggressive, going downhill are these New York Knicks.
At the basket to our right, Anunoby splashes on the first free throw. He was aggressive in getting to the line in game 4 as Rick Carlisle calls a very early timeout. 9:22 to go in the first quarter. Well, Monica, it's happened. The Knicks are off to a good start for the first time in the Eastern Conference Finals. They've got a 9-3 lead, not yet 3 minutes into the game.
Every game of this series has required clutch time, though. And so, yes, we can only discuss what we are witnessing, and this is certainly a better sign than having to dig out of an early hole, which we acknowledge would cost more energy at this point in the series. But you gotta keep your foot on the gas. You gotta keep yourself locked in the duration of this basketball game.
Knicks by 6, 9:22 left in the first quarter. A timeout from Rick Carlisle and a free throw for OG Anunoby on the other side of the break. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Get a double-digit bonus exclusively for Knicks fans from Food Bazaar Supermarket. Take $10 off of your order of $50 or more when you shop online at shop.foodbazaar.com. Plus, your first delivery is free. Go to shop.foodbazaar.com and use promo code FANSGET10 for the largest selection of international foods, an all-star lineup of the freshest meat, seafood, and produce, and $10 off of your first order of $50. Use promo code FANSGET10 at shop.foodbazaar.com.
Hey Knicks fans, now at Verizon, they're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on my plan. And you can get a single line for just $45 a month when you switch and bring your phone. That's their best price ever on unlimited welcome with auto pay plus taxes and fees. Guaranteed for 3 years. Because at Verizon, they got you. Visit your local Verizon store today. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply.
Step inside an Infiniti QX60 and relax in uninterrupted comfort. Leave schedules, appointments, and meetings behind. That can definitely wait. Just turn on the available massage seats and unwind for just a little longer. Until you feel infinitely you. Discover more about the Infinity QX60 crossover at InfinityUSA.com.
Serving contractors, builders, and homeowners in the tri-state area since 1987, Brooklyn Window & Door is New York City's largest stocking dealer of quality Andersen window and doors. The professionals at Brooklyn Window & Door will help solve any of your window replacement needs or applications. Visit Brooklyn Window & Door's award-winning showroom to see the complete Andersen product line, including the 400, 100, A&E series. Andersen, built, backed, and serviced like no other window.
Visit Brooklyn Window & Door at 185 30th Street in Brooklyn or call 718-WINDOWS.
9-3 New York, and a free throw to come for OG Anunoby. 9:22 remaining in this first quarter. A very quick timeout from Rick Carlisle. Thrive Well Infusion, New York's premier infusion injection center. Saving lives drip by drip. Well, Jalen Brunson, obviously a man on a mission. He's 3 for 3, all inside the three-point line, so 6 points and 1 assist for him. So he's accounted for all but 2 of the Knicks. Or all but 1 of the Knicks' points. OG Anunoby has been at the free throw line for 1. They'll try for another, but yeah, Brunson's got 3 makes and then 1 assist on the Robinson alley-oop.
He's been great so far in this one. Poised, patient, making the right calls. There's a whole lot of basketball left to go, but you do applaud the start. You are encouraged by the start.
Second foul shot for OG. Perfect at the basket to our right. 7-point game. Knicks were within 6 points in the final 3 minutes of Game 4, but couldn't come all the way back from 15 down in the final frame as Siakam gets to the far side post and hits a turnaround over Towns, who's probably playing through a lot of pain today. He had a knee-to-knee collision late in the fourth quarter on Tuesday as Bridges drives the right side of the paint, kicks up top to Towns, catches, drives left side of the lane on Siakam, hangs in the air and couldn't bank it in with a tough right-hand leaner.
He got great touch off the glass. It's a little too much.
Nembhard finds a sliver on the left side wing, but then kicks out to Neesmith. He back rims a far angle 3. Rebound Brunson.
So that was the first sort of breakdown defensively. The Knicks are fortunate that Neesmith goes long off the back iron.
Brunson and Robbins pick and roll right side. Foul line drive for Brunson. He got tripped up by Neesmith. He went down, maybe trying to draw a charge, but then his legs got tangled up with Brunson on the drive. And Brunson is still seated at the far side baseline. He'll get helped up by Bridges and Robinson. Yeah, it looked like Mitch and Neesmith collided legs.
Neesmith falls on Brunson's right ankle.
Yeah, he almost threw his body into Brunson's right heel. Brunson is up and walking it off, but dangerous play there from Neesmith. Yes, the contact was initiated by Robinson, but his body was just flying out of control at the back of Brunson's leg.
You know, when people talk about the 3-1 comeback of the Cleveland Cavaliers, it's often like LeBron and Kyrie were just playing so unreal. If the Knicks can get to that cylinder, anything can happen.
Towns threw it away, forced a pass inside to Anunoby. Halliburton on the move from right to left. Hands to Turner, ball fake left wing. Now back to Halliburton at midcourt. Guarded by Mikal Bridges. High screen from Turner, pick and roll. Left side baseline drive from Halliburton. Bounce pass far corner Neesmith. Extra feed to Shepard right wing, and he rolls into 3. Shepard came into the game after that timeout that Rick Carlisle took. Or that's for Neesmith. It's now a 2-point game.
So this is back to the form of the Pacers we're accustomed to seeing. Moving the ball around the perimeter, finding an open shooter.
And Jalen Brunson misses a lefty floater from the dotted line. After a 9-3 Knicks start, Siakam of the Pacers can tie or take the lead. Siakam left side elbow drive on Towns. Spins in the paint, fadeaway jumper. Too strong, but a foul called on Towns. That is the first Knick foul, and Siakam can tie the game with these 2 free throws. 7:39 to go in the first.
The foul is, Carl Towns did a really good job. Siakam has to settle for this turnaround, which he can hit, so settle. I use that as a choice. But he got him on the left arm. His left hand got Siakam's right arm as he was shooting.
I don't disagree with the settle definition because Indiana's offense is just so efficient as Siakam misfires on the first foul shot. Really, any long jump shot inside the 3-point line, you'll probably settle for because this is such a great team that creates open threes and open layups.
Yeah, that's a good point. They are prolific from the 3-point line And then particularly when they get in transition. And they don't pull up for threes in transition a ton. But every now and again, Tyrese Halliburton will have that kind of energy. But overall, most of those points are usually in the paint in transition.
Second free throw is good, so 10-9 Knicks, 7:37 to go in the first. Talk about prolific shooting. They're at 41% from downtown, the Pacers, for the playoffs. Kevin Durant's Warriors teams, those 2 years, they shot about 37% in the playoffs. Robinson and Bridges playing catch inside. Bridges dropped it far side baseline, got it back, dribbles to the dotted line. Tough fadeaway over Halliburton is good. Those shots were not dropping on Tuesday, but Bridges gets his first tonight. It's a 3-point lead.
That is a fortuitous bounce for the Knicks because they were playing patty cake in close proximity with one another. Mitchell Robinson is best when he can catch at the rim.
Siakam spins in the lane. Mr. Right, he flip shot over Bridges. Rebound batted around and punched out of bounds by Shepard, left baseline. Knicks will take over 5 minutes into the game. They lead 12-9. From left to right they come in the white uniforms against the gold and blue of Indiana. Brunson at the logo, Shepard following him around. And Neesmith came out of the game just 2.5 minutes in, likely because Brunson was cooking him for 3 straight makes. Layup attempt by Bridges, blocked off the backboard by Turner as he drove the left side of the lane. Halliburton into the front court, sidestep right wing pump fake, now gets a pass back from Shepard. Brunson switches on to Halliburton. Crossover, right side angle, leans in, hangs in the air, trying to draw some contact. Missed a wild leaner and no whistle. Rebound Towns, who took it off the floor.
Really quickly, I like that attack by Mikal Bridges, and I don't care about the block shots. Go and see what happens.
I knew you were going to say that. You've been calling for Bridges layups all playoffs. Anunoby tries to attack, but wildly missed a layup. Offensive rebound attempt by Robinson leads to a loose ball foul on Indiana.
Great hustle by Mitchell Robinson. I like the attack by OG Anunoby. I'm not sure about OG Anunoby's finishes at the rim. That one, his body is contorted. It was probably the most composed we've seen since the Game 3 victory. But in Game 4, he was getting there, but something would happen at the end, and it just did not seem fluid or confident.
His three-point shooting has been hot and cold as well. He was 4 of 6 in Game 3. Now he steps back on the left wing and almost rattled in a tough 3 over Nembhard, but it popped back out.
Turner definitely pushed Mitchell Robinson in the back, but cool.
And then Anunoby got off his feet on a right wing pump fake from Halliburton, and then he draws a 3-point foul. And he'll get 3 free throws in the basket to our left. If he makes them all, he'll tie the game at 12 with 6:05 to go in the first quarter.
We use the word deliberate in the pregame, and I will say, so far I do feel like the Knicks have been deliberate offensively. We saw early in the first couple of plays, Jalen Brunson sort of off the ball, able to use some screens to get some action going so that Neesmith is not fully loaded up and just waiting on him to come. I like the decision by Mikal Bridges to go toward the paint, as with OG Anunoby. Defensively, they've done a better job of communicating and certainly doing a good job of getting on the glass. By my personal eyes, I'm not sure what the advanced stats might have, but I would count 2 open threes so far in this one, and the Pacers being 1 of 2 on those.
And Halliburton made the first 2 free throws, so he can tie it with the third. Just the second foul on the Knicks. Anunoby has 1. Towns has 1. And ever since Rick Carlisle called that timeout and put Ben Shepard on Brunson instead of Aaron Neesmith, Brunson has not scored. Third free throw rolls around and out. So Halliburton goes 2 of 3. Knicks 12, Pacers 11, 5:57 to go in the first. And Josh Hart is heading to the scorers table. Third straight game we've had Mitchell Robinson in the lineup instead of Hart. Bridges right wing passed up a wide open 3, but he gets a Towns triple from the right corner instead. And the Knicks lead by 4. Nembhard far side baseline, behind the back dribble to burn Brunson, but he missed the reverse layup on the near side. TJ McConnell will check in at the next whistle. Brunson up top for Towns. He'll catch him, power to the paint, and a right-hand layup gives New York a 17-11 lead. What do you want, Mike?
I wanted OG Anunoby on the block, and at that time it didn't even pan out, but I think the energy that is created when he's posting up the smaller Ben Shepard helps to create a lane for Karl-Anthony Towns to finish in.
Nembhard silences the crowd with a step back from 12, just inside the foul line. 4-point game. Brunson right side arc defended by Obi Toppin, steps back off the screen. He's picked up by the taller and slightly slower Miles Turner. Top of the arc, walk up 3. Brunson buries it. 20-13 New York, 7 minutes into the first.
This is the pace the Knicks need and the offensive efficiency they need.
9 for Brunson. That was his first 3-point attempt. Nembhard, a ball in his hands a whole lot this evening. Toppin at the top of the arc, hands to Nembhard, left wing, back to Toppin at the point. Step back pump fake, Towns bit, but then Toppin passed out of it. 4 to shoot for Halliburton at the logo. Pick and roll with Toppin, left wing 3. Halliburton, air ball into Robinson's hands. The Knicks fans love that. Brunson from left to right. Knicks by 7. Off the dribble 3. Good from the left wing. Brunson's got 12 points in the first 7 minutes. Knicks by 10. It's their best start of the series by a mile. 23-13. Timeout Indiana.
After a loss this postseason, the Knicks are 5-1. Obviously, with the one being this Game 2 loss to the Indiana Pacers. Jalen Brunson continues to have monster bounce-back performances in that stat, averaging 32 and 8 on 47% from the field. Will that hold tonight?
New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
Hear that? That's the beginning of a journey powered by the confidence that comes from driving a vehicle so reliable. It's backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Where your journey ends? Well, that's up to you. Visit your local Kia dealer today. Kia, movement that inspires. See retailer for warranty details. Always drive safely. Limited inventory available.
This is the sound no parent wants to hear. It's the sound of a child with whooping cough. One of the many dangerous childhood diseases that can be prevented by immunizations. Whooping cough can cause serious complications, including pneumonia, seizures, brain swelling, and even death. Babies are most at risk. The best way to protect your child against diseases like this is to get all your kids' shots on time and take them for regular checkups. Talk to your child's healthcare provider. A message from the New York State Department of Health.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection, one that helps better their everyday through the things they value most: friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Hey Knicks fans, be the MVP of your next summer barbecue or family dinner with the fresh taste of Calandra's Bakery Breads. Available at your local supermarket. Handmade daily with just 4 all-natural ingredients. From crusty Italian loaves to soft rolls and hearty multigrain, there's something for everyone. Since 1962, Calandra's Bakery has delivered fresh bread to supermarkets like ShopRite, King's, D'Agostino's, Key Foods, and more. Calandra's Bakery, the best in Italian and French breads.
First double-digit Knick lead since the opening game in the Eastern Conference Finals. They lead Indiana 23-13 with 4:23 to go in the first quarter. For over 160 years, individuals and businesses from Montauk to Manhattan have trusted Dime for all their banking needs. Visit Dime.com for more information. Dime, we've got your bank. Member FDIC. With Monica McNutt, I'm Tyler Murray. Ray Santiago is our producer. Gary Jeffries, our engineer. And Tyler Freed is our statistician. What's been working so far, Monica, as the Knicks are off to their best start of this Eastern Conference Final Series?
Well, LT, I said tonight was going to need to be a high-efficiency night on the offensive end, and you're never mad at shooting 60% to start a ball game. They've been terrific there. They've got 4 assists on 9 made field goals, so they're doing a good job of finding one another. I like the way that they're attacking the paint, +6 in terms of paint scoring so far, and of course, they've been on the glass early in this one.
They started 0 for 2 from downtown, but since they've made each of their last 3 triples, including back-to-back bombs from Jalen Brunson. He's still on the floor with Deuce McBride, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, and Mitchell Robinson. So this is a lineup that, in theory, should give you plenty of defense around your star point guard. TJ McConnell, speaking of star point guards.
There we go.
We'll bring it across the timeline from right to left. Pacer ball in yellow. Knicks are in white tonight. Tony Bradley, the third-string center who has jumped Thomas Bryant in the rotation, comes in, feeds a cutting McConnell who missed a layup. Bryant got it back, blew the putback, and then on the rebound, Hart stepped out of bounds left baseline. So it stays with Indiana.
Good hustle by Josh Hart, though, coming to the brink of taking that rebound away from Tony Bradley.
Inbound to Toppin. He gets mauled by McBride on a left side drive, and they'll send Toppin to the free throw line. That is certainly an advantage Indiana has had. The out-of-bounds plays have led to a lot of open looks throughout this series.
They execute well on inbound and ATOs.
Which is impressive because they run 10 and sometimes 11 deep. A lot of guys running a lot of different plays, and they always seem to work.
Yeah, I don't know that people have forgotten this, but perhaps as Obi Toppin gets that first one to go. Rick Carlisle is a veteran coach in this league. He's won a championship with the Dallas Mavericks. I remember when he made the move to go to Indiana, and I was sort of surprised. Talking with friends that have covered the league, been in the league, known Rick Carlisle, he gets praised for creating a system that works for what he has. And when that was said to me earlier, I was like, wow, yeah, because I don't remember Dallas playing like this. Now, granted, different era of basketball. But yeah, I thought that was a great observation.
Yeah, I think that championship, they were down 2-1 to the Heatles in the first year with LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. They
Shout out to Dirk.
Came back and won that series.
And my guy, J.J. Barea. Remember him?
Northeastern. Foul line turnaround jumper from Brunson. Front rim, backboard, good. It's back to a 10-point lead after the free throws were made by Obi Toppin. Do I remember J.J. Barea?
He was fun.
T.J. McConnell dishes left corner to Tony Bradley. Not a three-point shooter, so he hands back to McConnell, who is also not a three-point shooter. Interesting lineup out there right now for Rick Carlisle. Shepard at the foul line, steps to the right elbow, now dishes to a wide-open T.J. McConnell on the left wing, and he silences the critics, particularly me, drilling a three to make it a 25-18 game.
It wasn't just you, because Deuce McBride hesitated on that closeout because, to your point, the scouting report is like, let him have that.
McConnell was a 3 of 10 from downtown in the playoffs before that make. Emphasis on how few he's even attempted. Right corner, McBride. Closed out by McConnell. Pick and slip with Bridges. McBride takes McConnell to the dotted line. Tried to draw a foul. I thought he did, but no call. 25-18. Knicks with the lead. Indiana ball from right to left. Halliburton pick and pop with Toppin. Dishes up top to Obi. Pump fake and a left side drive on the heart. Shuffled to feet, got away with it. Hands to a cutting McConnell, far side baseline. Reset up top with Halliburton. Straight on Shepard, pump fake, drive down the lane over Bridges. Push shot back rim, no. Rebound snatched by Robinson in the crowd, and will get it to an open Bridges.
The Knicks are doing a really good job of making the Pacers get deep into the shot clock. Now, granted, this lineup is a little bit mismatched.
Robinson snuck free on the break, and Hart found him for an easy jam. It's a 9-point Knick lead.
This is what you dreamed of in terms of this team extending the series. Couldn't ask for a better start.
Toppin from the right point. He'll launch his three off the backboard. No good. Robinson tipped the rebound to Brunson. Final 2 minutes, first quarter. Knicks from left to right. Brunson's on a heater. He wants more. Missed a right wing three off the front rim. He was 2 for 2 from downtown before that missed. No surprise Pacers want to push, but there's a surprise. They turn it over. Or hang on. 2 different calls from the officials. Now they're talking about it. Initially it was signaled Pacer ball. I thought it went off of Obi Toppin's foot.
John Starks is on the Knicks baseline side in full AAU dad mode. Polo shirt, cap. I was with Patrick Ewing, and he's like, man, sitting next to John watching games, he don't ever sit down. I can't see.
A very long conversation there from the officials, and they ultimately decide that the Knicks will get to take the ball. So it is a rare turnover from Indiana. As fast as they play, it's remarkable how well they take care of the ball. That's their second giveaway of the night. Brunson, Bridges, McBride, Hart, and Robinson. Been a good lineup since they came in. Right corner, Hart, catch and drive to the dotted line. Pump fake on the middle of the paint against Siakam. Dishes out to the right wing. 3 from Bridges, too strong. Rebound over the top of Robinson, who couldn't put his hands in the air to grab it because they were being hugged from behind. Siakam speeds ahead and banks home a ruddy layup. It's a 7-point game.
I'm glad you caught that on Mitchell Robinson, because that's the second time now I've watched Pacers use what is not marginal contact to take an advantage over him as a rebounder.
He went up for the rebound with all torso. Right elbow, Brunson stops on a dime. Pump fake on Mathurin, who just checked in. Now he curls around him and missed a right-hand layup. Siakam the board. Dishes left to McConnell. Extra pass in the corner. Shepard, pump fake, fly by. Now gets rid of it to McConnell instead of taking an open left corner three.
You got a mismatch as Deuce McBride is having to guard Pascal Siakam here.
Siakam had it, but then gave it up to Mathurin. Sets a screen for him, and Mathurin buries a three from straight on. It's a 4-point game. Mathurin has woken up, which is bad news for the Knicks. He had 11 points total across the first 3 games. Then he had 20 in 12 minutes on Tuesday.
I'd like to see the Knicks, as they've done it here, it looks like, to get Jalen Brunson off the ball a little bit.
Mikal Bridges speeds down the right side, drive and kick left wing. McBride catches, dribbles, top of the key. Hart, a wide open three, in and out. McConnell, the rebound and rush up court, but now he'll slow things down, realizing they can't go 2 for 1. 20 to play, 16 to shoot. Indiana has trimmed a 10-point deficit down to 4, and they've got the ball. Final 15 seconds, first quarter. McConnell at the logo, screen on the right from Shepard, picked up by Bridges. Passes far corner to Mathurin. Pump fake on Hart, 2 to shoot. Mathurin will launch it at the horn, missed it short. Rebound Bridges. He's got 1 second to get the heave off. He does from 60 feet, and he missed it wide right. And the Knicks will have a lead heading into the second quarter by 4, 27-23. You may recall their previous 2 games at home in the series, they led by exactly 2 after the first 12 minutes.
They've cooled off a bit from that 60% that they were shooting about midway through that first quarter, but you'll still take a just shy of 50 at 48% field goal percentage performance in this one. Got to continue to keep pressure on the paint. Got to continue to stay on the glass. We've talked about this a lot in the series, but they've got 5 guys in the scoring column. Brunson, the only one that's in double figures, but I do think that they're going to have to continue to share the rock and help put one another in positions to be successful.
Now the up and down three-point shooting continues. First they missed 2, then they made 3, but since then their last 4 have not found the net. 27-23, the Knicks have a lead on the Pacers after the opening quarter here in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Knicks hoping to keep their season alive and force Game 6 on Saturday back in Indianapolis. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
BetMGM, an official partner of the New York Knicks, has a special offer for you. Fans can get in on the second chance promotion every Friday. Make any first field goal bet, and if your player scores the second field goal, you'll get your stake back in cash. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York only. New and existing customer offer paid back in withdrawable funds. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
New York Presbyterian gives you the healthcare choices you want, like over 450 locations in Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, and Westchester. Virtual care that lets you connect with us digitally. World-class doctors from Columbia and Weill Cornell Medicine, and Health Matters, an online source for the latest health and wellness topics and tips. Experience extraordinary healthcare when and where you need it. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian. Restrictions apply.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Jalen Brunson. I'll be driving to my games this season in style in my new Jeep Gladiator from Princeton Jeep. My friends at Princeton Jeep gave me the all-star treatment, and you can expect the same thing too. Just mention that I sent you, and they'll treat you like family. Princeton Jeep has tons of inventory, great deals, and all new and used vehicles. Visit Princeton Jeep at 1045 State Road in Princeton, New Jersey, or online at PrincetonJeeps.com and tell them Jalen sent you.
Knicks 27, Pacers 23. Total Ortho Express has 4 Long Island locations and provides immediate walk-in orthopedic care from highly awarded specialists and surgeons instead of waiting in an emergency room or a general urgent care. Learn more at TotalOrthoExpress.com. With Monica McNutt, I'm Tyler Murray. The Pacers have an 11-0 bench point advantage. That's because the Knicks haven't really had to go to their bench all that much. 4 minutes from Deuce McBride, 4 minutes from Josh Hart. Don LaGreca himself is in the building, which can only mean good things for the Knickerbockers. It will be Pacer possession to start the second quarter as they go from right to left. Tough turnaround baseline fall away from Siakam, misses over Hart. Good defense from him. And it will be Shamet and Wright on the floor to begin the second quarter for the Knicks, along with McBride, Hart, and Towns. Mitchell Robinson played the entire first quarter for New York. They led by as many as 10. Right now it's 4. Shamet left perimeter, picked up by Siakam. They want to post up Towns on Mathurin. They'll get him the ball far side, mid-range, double team from Shepard. He turns into it, rises high, and scores with the right hand from about 10 feet, far side of the paint. Knicks by 6. High side wing Mathurin back to the top of the arc for Toppin. Feeds the left wing McConnell. Knicks play drop coverage on him, so he'll take a deep 3. Missed it off the back rim, but Siakam gets the offensive rebound over the smaller Shamet. Now he goes to his post moves, picked up his dribble far side block, hands off to McConnell, is forced out to the far corner, but he plays give and go with Siakam, slips inside and hits a righty layup as he had to step on Hart. It's back to a 4-point game.
This lineup is basically the defensive specialist lineup, and I think it's great to see because it also is staggering Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns to give JB a little bit of a rest.
See if Anunoby gets to join the action, maybe Bridges to really ramp up the defense. Hart rip through move on the right wing in the paint, kicks left, open left wing three from DeLon Wright. That's too strong, and Mathurin gets the board. Pacers into the front court, left wing Mathurin. Stop and start on the left side on McBride. Now they're swinging around to Obi Toppin, catch and shoot three. Too strong from the far side angle, and Towns pulls down his 5th rebound. He is averaging 26 points and 12 rebounds in this series, Karl Anthony Towns. He has been phenomenal. Far corner, Shamet. Good close out from McConnell. Shamet wanted to pull the trigger but didn't have room. At the circle, Towns. One dribble, right hand, steps past Siakam, got fouled and scored off the window. Right bicep flex from Karl Anthony Towns in the front row underneath the basket. He's given the Knicks a 6-point lead with a chance for a free throw.
It is slightly perplexing to me to be a part of conversations around Karl Anthony Towns. Just slightly, because I think the root of it is expectation and respect for him to be great. But when you call out that he's actually averaging 26 and 12 in this one, you're kind of like, well, what do people want? And I get it. You can't just look at a number. You want to see how a guy's performance feels and impacts a game. But he has been steady in this playoffs. I just think this Indiana matchup has been really challenging for this Knicks defense at large. And so it has left Knicks fans with a bit to desire. But so far tonight, they've done a much better job of being a cohesive and connected defensive unit.
Towns has scored the first 5 points in the quarter for the Knicks as he converts the 3-point play. They lead by 7. I asked a couple of people who have watched every game what they thought Towns' stats were in the first 4 games of the series. Nobody thought they were nearly that good.
No, that was an excellent call out by you.
Top and left elbow slips past the line right and banks in a right-hand layup. It's 32-27. Knicks over the Pacers 2 minutes into the second. Deuce McBride speeds to the paint. Wild pass to the far corner for Shamet. He caught it initially, but then stepped out of bounds. That wasn't his fault. And the Knicks give it away with 9:39 left in the second. That is just their second turnover.
I understand the idea of collapsing a defense and then spraying to an open shooter, but I want Deuce McBride to go ahead and finish at the rim on that one.
Top and fake to handoff. Got the step on Towns, and right down the lane he goes for an open layup as Towns is flexing that knee. That scared a lot of Knicks fans, well, every Knicks fan at the end of Game 4. He was pounding the court in pain on his belly down the right baseline. Anunoby about to check in. Knicks up 3. 9:10 to go in the second. Far side baseline drive. McBride took a bump, no call. Right corner Shamet. Right wing Harton. Left wing DeLon Wright. He'll take a 3. Wide left. Offensive rebound. Towns. Put back is good off glass. Great ball movement leads to a advantageous rebound for Towns. It's a 5-point lead. McConnell motors to the paint, stops to the center of the lane, finds an open right wing shooter. It's Siakam for 3. 34-32 Knicks.
Yeah, Siakam has had multiple 30-point games in this series. Memorably, the 39 he put up in Game 2.
Well, the Knicks have missed their last 6 3-pointers. Pacers are 5 of 12, right at their postseason average of 41%. It was fair to think it wasn't sustainable, but apparently it is for this Pacer team. Towns double team far corner, finds McBride. Left corner 3 is good in front of the Pacer bench. 5-point Knick lead.
I actually thought Deuce McBride got a little too close in terms of spacing, but he was still able to capitalize. Great assist by Karl Anthony Towns.
Into the shot clock, so he had to get that tight quarters pass. Siakam, right elbow, hands to Toppin at the near perimeter. Switched onto by Towns, crossover in the lane, across the pin. A wild bank shot wouldn't go. He wanted a foul, but that's a low percentage shot. Hart goes coast to coast, left to right, took a foul, banked it in over Mathurin. Vintage Josh Hart, a 94-foot dribble up and down. 7-point Knick lead with a chance for a free throw.
Vintage is an appropriate descriptor, partner, because we have not seen that version of Josh Hart consistently. A little bit in the Boston series.
Yes.
In the Detroit series, but in this one, he's not been able to find that version of himself consistently. But it is and has the potential to be a game changer. If he can do that a few times in the course of a game, you give me 1 per quarter. If he can knock down, I'll take 2 threes to keep this defense honest. Obviously, you would love a 5 3-point shooting performance like you saw in Boston. But he's got to get back to the confidence that makes him who he is. And, of course, not duplicate the 5 turnover performance from Game 4.
That matched a playoff career high 5 turnovers. He actually set that record, which you don't want to set, twice against the Pacers last year. And it came in the first 2 games when he played all 48 minutes in the second round. But the Knicks won both of those games. He hits the free throw. And remember, Game 3, the only Nick win so far in this Eastern Conference Finals. Hart made all 4 of his free throws in the final 20 seconds to help keep the Pacers.
He was excellent in Game 3.
Kept him 2 possessions away. Siakam catches on the left wing, fumbled it. Anunoby reached in trying for the steal, but they call OG for a second foul. He just checked back into the game for Deuce McBride, but 7:37 left in the second quarter. They'll have to be careful for the rest of the half.
This is where, and I get it, Tom Thibodeau even allows OG to freelance a little bit, but this is where if he remains sound on that one and just guards Siakam straight up, he stays out of foul trouble on that one.
Mathurin and Turner pick and roll. Mathurin goes right to the rim, missed a layup over Towns, and Hart gets the loose ball. Knicks by 8, 7.5 to go before halftime. Towns at the logo, catches, attacks the left side of the paint on Siakam, and he didn't get the roll on a right-hand bank shot. Those are always
right
tough,
there.
Those are always tough angles, right? The left side of the basket, but you're shooting with your right hand.
Yeah, but it's about the touch, and he was right there.
Siakam left alone on a 3, but couldn't connect from straight on. And Towns gets rebound number 7. He's got 12 points. It's Brunson with a game-high 14. Hart, top of the arc, pick and roll with Towns. Pocket pass, drives the lane, got stripped out of bounds. It hit Towns last. He hates the call, so he grabs the basketball, and he's going home. Or at least walking over toward midcourt. He's such a smart basketball fan that he knows with that whistle, it's an automatic media timeout. And he didn't have to give the ball back to Indiana. So 40-32, we do have a break in the action with 6:56 left in the second quarter. Knicks by 8.
The Karl-Anthony Towns whistle continues to fascinate me. I guess lots of folks around the league would feel that way about their post players who have a size advantage and absorb a ton of contact. Look, man, I like the way this Knicks team is playing. I understand the frustration. So far, they have been able to power through that frustration, and they're doing a good job of playing a deliberate brand of basketball.
Towns probably knows that he could get a much better whistle if he fell down a lot more, but he's just so strong that that's...
Yeah, but if he falls down and he's out of play, you have no shot to get him back on defense.
Correct, and it really sounds like it's not in his DNA. Knicks basketball on ESPN New York is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Discover what happens when rugged capability meets true performance. Learn more at Kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires. Knicks have been up by as many as 10. Right now, it's an 8-point advantage with 6:56 to go in the second quarter of a must-win Game 5. New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
Step inside an Infiniti QX60 and relax in uninterrupted comfort. Leave schedules, appointments, and meetings behind. That can definitely wait. Just turn on the available massage seats and unwind for just a little longer until you feel infinitely you. Discover more about the Infiniti QX60 crossover at InfinityUSA.com.
Grand Marnier is an award-winning blend of fine cognac and orange liqueur. It's made for those who live to step outside the box, who like to put a twist on the traditional, and believe in a world that's not just good, but grand. Visit GrandMarnier.com to learn how to take cocktails from ordinary to extraordinary and live grand. Grand Marnier Liqueur, 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2022, Campari America, New York, New York. Drink with style. Always drink responsibly.
Total Ortho Express is a state-of-the-art orthopedic care center with 4 Long Island locations: East Meadow, Syosset, Massapequa, and Deer Park. Injuries can happen at any time and can often require immediate attention. Total Ortho Express provides immediate walk-in orthopedic care from highly awarded specialists and surgeons, instead of waiting in an emergency room or a general urgent care. Total Ortho Express is open 7 days a week with extended hours so that our patients have convenient and immediate access to the care they need. Learn more at TotalOrthoExpress.com.
Because growing a business keeps you on the go, we've got your bank. Because a steady cash flow is the lifeblood of your bottom line, we've got your bank. Because your workday simply doesn't stop at 5 o'clock, we've got your bank. Dime Community Bank gives you the digital tools you need to simplify your business banking, even deposit checks, anytime from anywhere. And we back our technology with a team that's always there, wherever business takes you. Visit Dime.com to learn more. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
(40-32). Knicks lead the Pacers by 8. And so far, Monica, it's been on the back of their 2 All-NBA. Stars. They've had 26 combined points from Towns and Brunson. They are 11 of 18 together.
Which makes sense. I mean, that's what they are here for at this particular moment. I love the way that Jalen Brunson started the game. I also am a big fan of Karl Anthony Towns in particular, getting a couple of, I won't call them easy because there's a lot of contact in there, but some putbacks. It's a great rebound for the Knicks. It's an easier basket for him as opposed to having to load up at the top of the key and go against whoever the Pacers choose to defend him.
Pacer ball from right to left. They're down by 8. 6:45 left in this opening half, and a foul line jumper from Nembhard is good over DeLon Wright. The Knicks have Wright, Shamet, Hart, Anunoby, and Towns on the floor. Similar lineup to how they started the second quarter, but it's Anunoby in for Deuce McBride.
We saw the same thing in Game 3 in terms of the coaches matching lineups.
Neesmith back into the game after a slow start guarding Brunson, and he blocks Anunoby from behind on a right side drive, picked up by Wright, out to Shamet, and he cans a straight on 3.
I think although DeLon Wright doesn't play a ton of minutes, he does show veteran savvy. He's a guy that's been around the league for a long time.
And for a point guard, his offensive rebounding numbers have been impressive as a member of the Knicks. Halliburton back into the game with Turner, Neesmith, Nembhard, and Toppin. It is Nembhard at the top of the arc, marked by Shamet, steps back, dribbles between his legs, and now attacks the right side of the paint. Took a little bit of a hit, threw up a wild runner off the top of the backboard, and then fell into Karl Anthony Towns.
Outstanding defense by Landry Shamet, completely selling out.
His effort is just always to the max. Towns lumbers in, hits a right-hand layup and one. Karl Anthony Towns extends the Knicks lead to 11, their largest of the night, and a free throw's coming up.
2 things. We talked about the Landry Shamet defense. If he had not been able to force that missed shot, let me clarify, he was on the brink of those officials having to call an illegal screen on Miles Turner. That's how hard he was working to stay in front of Andrew Nembhard and working over screens. On the other end, we just talked about it. The energy for Karl Anthony Towns, having gotten some putbacks in. Miles Turner is back to guarding him, and he cannot press up and take his legs away the way some of the smaller defenders for the Indiana Pacers can. Great move at the top of the key, takes a beat to survey, goes to that strong right side. Obviously, he covers a tremendous amount of ground on his first step and on his finishing steps, and one play.
You may have heard a loud ovation for DeLon Wright checking out for Jalen Brunson. The captain's out there with Shamet, Hart, Anunoby, and Towns, who's ready for the free throw. It's good. He's got 15 points and 8 rebounds in just 14 minutes. Patrick Ewing clapping hard just a few feet away. It's a 12-2 New York run. They're up by 12. 5.5 to go in the second quarter. Nembhard left wing. Passes to an open Neesmith in the near corner. Back rim is 3 with a good late closeout from Anunoby.
Now, I'm just going to offer this, and we'll see how it plays out. I actually don't know that I would have gone back to Jalen Brunson yet. I thought that group had good chemistry. This is valuable rest for JB, and you're holding on to a lead.
And mark it down. They're up by 12 right now. Anunoby attacks the right baseline. Missed a layup, but it came right back into his hands, and he puts it through for 2. It's a 14-point lead. Approaching the final 5 minutes in this first half. 48-35 New York. Neesmith pulls up from the near side mid-range and back rims another jumper. Hart gets the rebound. He's got 3 boards. Brunson toward the far sideline, lost his balance, and he stepped on the left sideline.
I think they got Landry Shamet for an illegal screen.
I beg your pardon. Yes, Shamet was whistled beforehand. He tried to set a late moving right side screen on Neesmith, who then collided into Brunson and forced him out of bounds. So foul on Shamet. Knicks turn it over. Pacer ball down by 14. Neesmith at the foul line. Pump fake, jab step, up top to Toppin, who hands to Halliburton. Back to Toppin right wing. Halliburton again with the ball. Far corner, Turner. Ball fake on Towns. Crossover, drives the middle of the lane. Wild push shot somehow finds its way in off the front rim and in. 12-point game again.
The similarities between Miles Turner and Karl Anthony a little bit. But That was great defensive communication because for a second, Jalen Brunson was stuck battling against Miles Turner in the paint. He and Karl Anthony Towns did a good job of making that switch happen without allowing the Pacers to have a gap to target.
Turner's representation will be telling every team about his similarity. To Towns in the offseason. He's an unrestricted free agent as Hart catches and sneaks into the right side and banks home a layup. 14-point lead.
Not as naturally gifted, let me clarify, but he's had a good series.
Halliburton, high side wing. Screen from Neesmith. Knicks drop off and an offensive foul called. Turner puts Shamet on the deck with a moving screen. That's his third foul. Halliburton bricked the three-pointer anyway, but the Knicks take over up by 14.
Remember, game 4, check that, game 3, Landry Shamet hit the deck on a Ben Mathurin collision, and it took him a minute to get up, but good to see him bouncing back quickly off of that one. We talk a lot about Jalen Brunson being a guy that's willing to sell out and give his body. Landry Shamet comes in and has been all effort, and it starts for him on the defensive end, which is hugely important to the momentum of this Knicks team.
Now Shamet, 6'4", he's not a long-rangey wing, but he will make you work. Knicks up 14, 3.5 to go in the second quarter. Towns, top of the arc, holds the ball high and overfired a pass out of bounds, hoping for a cutting in Anunoby, and went underneath the hoop to the right baseline, and the Pacers take over.
So that's the type of turnover, that was particularly frustrating on, my days are messed up, whatever day game 4 was,
Tuesday.
Right? Tuesday, there we go.
Halliburton crosses over Hart up top, and then he's sealed off on the right side drive by Anunoby, swinging around to Toppin. He can't hit a left wing three, too strong. Rebound Shamet. 50-36 New York, 3:13 to go in the first half. Towns catches on the right corner, drives baseline on top and draws a foul before the shot. It is the fourth team foul on Indiana, so no more to give as Mikal Bridges is set to check in.
Good to see as those guys were battling for position, Towns opting to pass on his sneaky little technique of pinching guys by either clamping down, wrist to shoulder, or clamping down, elbow to hip.
Well, we said in Indiana, if the Knicks were playing at home, you would hear loud ovations every time DeLon Wright and Landry Shamet checked out, with the way they're leaving their hearts on the floor, and that has happened for each of those guys here in the second quarter. Bridges comes in for Shamet, so it's the classic Knicks starting 5 on the floor right now. Bridges in, Anunoby, Brunson, Hart, and Towns. Pass inside to Towns. He couldn't tip it in.
He needs a break. Get him out.
Mitchell Robinson played the entire first quarter, hasn't come back in since, as Halliburton couldn't connect on a potential three-point play. A runner in the middle of the paint off a Brunson foul. That'll send us to immediate timeout with Halliburton getting free throws on the other side. It is Knicks 50, Pacers 36. A 14-point Knicks lead with their backs against the wall. 2:56 to go in the second quarter.
Composed urgency was my key to the game in the pregame. That is smart decisions each time down. Maybe this timeout will offer a reprieve for Karl Anthony Towns, but he has been too pivotal in the course of the series and would be too pivotal tonight, as you called out his 26 and 12 average in the series. Cannot have back-to-back turnovers, essentially, with the way he fumbled that layup right in front of the basket.
It was a 4-point game at the end of the first quarter. Landry Shamet came in. When he came out, the Knicks are up by 14. A +10 stretch for Shamet. The Knicks' depth is shining right when it has to. They're up by 14, 2:56 to go in the second. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Hear that? That's the beginning of a journey powered by the confidence that comes from driving a vehicle so reliable, it's backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Where your journey ends? Well, that's up to you. Visit your local Kia dealer today. Kia, movement that inspires.
See retailer for warranty details. Always drive safely. Limited inventory available.
Knicks fans, when deciding to take a charter bus, there's only one choice. That's Best Trails and Travel, New York City's premier charter bus company. Best Trails and Travel has the highest level of charter bus service in New York City and has been serving New York's leading corporations, professional sports teams, and private individuals for 30 years. They offer premier customer service and the newest fleet of buses in the industry. Whether you're traveling with family, friends, or colleagues, Best Trails and Travel guarantees you the ultimate traveling experience. Visit them at besttrailstravel.com or call 212-206-6974.
To win the NBA Finals, everything needs to line up perfectly. No different than finding the person you want to marry. When the time comes to propose, well, do what I did. Visit the engagement experts at London Jewelers. They'll make shopping for a ring easy. Let them help you pick or design the perfect ring to fit any budget from their 2 by London collection. London Jewelers is committed to getting it just right. So visit London Jewelers today at any of their 6 locations, including Americana Manhasset and the mall at Short Hills. Mention I told you to stop by. You'll get the Michael K treatment.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Knicks by 14, 2:56 to go in the second quarter in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's pause 10 seconds to allow stations to identify themselves on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Hey, this is Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson for 3!
And this is your home for New York Knicks basketball. This is 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS FM HD2, New York.
Knicks basketball brought to you by Calandra's Bakery, who has brought some very artistic pastries and cakes, Knicks themed, to the Garden here this evening. You can visit your local supermarket to try their all-natural, handmade artisan breads made with just 4 ingredients and 0 preservatives. Visit calandrasbakery.com for locations near you. Knicks are outscoring the Pacers 23-13 in the second quarter, but Tyrese Halliburton drew a shooting foul just before the immediate timeout, so he'll make his first free throw as we see the first Eastern Conference Finals minutes for second-year swingman out of Houston, Jarris Walker, just 21 years old from the DMV, just north of Baltimore. He's averaging 3 points and 2 rebounds in an average of 10 minutes a night when he does get playoff action. We'll see if he has an impact here. He's going to be guarding Anunoby on this possession. Halliburton got both. It's a 12-point Knick lead.
For the record, north of Baltimore is not part of the DMV.
Bummer. Left side drive. Brunson missed a lefty layup. Offensive rebound. Hart finds it cutting Bridges, middle of the paint. Pump fake, pull up, air ball. Right baseline is saved from going out of bounds by Nembhard. Now Siakam moves ahead at the foul line. Middle of the paint. Draws a foul on Hart. Missed a turnaround right-hand hook. And free throws coming for Siakam with a lead down to 12. So DMV stands for...
I understand why you would say that, but as a true DMV girl...
Oh, yeah, you're there.
The DMV represents the area in which the metro system covers.
I see.
The metro system does not go to Baltimore or north of Baltimore.
Now...
He's a Maryland dude.
As Siakam sets up the first foul shot of the basket to our left and makes it. I do have to check you, though, on some of your DMV knowledge.
Tell me.
Months ago, we debated if every single fan base yelled out "Oh" during a national anthem.
And I really thought...
And because you grew up at Orioles games...
It was just a Maryland
You thought everybody did it, but no, only Orioles fans yell "Oh" when they say "Oh, say" in the Star Spangled Banner.
It's very true.
Siakam front rims the second free throw. So a combined trip between Halliburton and Siakam. They go 3 for 4 these last 2 times down. Knicks ball from left to right, up 11. Brunson speeds inside, whips a pass to the right corner for Anunoby. He'll attack the right side of the paint. Missed the layup, put it back up and in. And the Knicks have a 13-point lead.
The second chance opportunities tonight by OG Anunoby have been outstanding.
He is stuck with it and has not necessarily looked clean on his way to the rim, but he's not given up after the first miss. Siakam step back up top, now leans in as Bridges dropped off, but he's met inside by Towns. Jumps to pass and finds Halliburton, who penetrates, dishes, and sets up a corner 3 for Jarris Walker. His first shot of the series is good. It's a 10-point game.
Where did this guy come from? I mean, I was a part of his draft class. He's got sisters that were athletes. He's a great young man.
Well, he came from north of Baltimore.
Correct.
Four-corner 3 Anunoby. Couldn't get it to go in front of the Pacer bench off a good feed from Brunson. Pacers chipping away here. But then Nemhard threw it away. He was hoping to kick it out to Walker, but Anunoby stepped in front. But then OG turned it over, trying to spin into a double team at the right side foul line. It comes to Matherin near corner, takes a dribble, takes a three, and he makes it a 7-point game. This is exactly when things turned in Indiana's favor on Tuesday, and they have turned a 14-point deficit to 7.
I would abandon the use of the word deliberate to describe the last 3 possessions for the Knicks.
Josh Hart, right corner, had to reach to catch it, lost his balance inside to Towns, who had Siakam sealed off, and he scores with the right hand just underneath the basket. Back to a 9-point lead.
How there's not a whistle on that play, I am so fascinated by it.
Towns was only awarded the use of his right arm because of Siakam's defense. Now Siakam took him to the rim, but missed a bunny off a spin move middle of the paint.
Now, as the Knicks hold on to this lead, Tyrese Halliburton is 0 for 2 from the field tonight. He's only taken 2 shots. He's 4 for 5 from the free throw line, though, with 4 points and 3 assists.
Right side mid-post, Bridges takes Halliburton into the paint and hits a fadeaway jumper from 8 feet. Knicks back up 11. Great 4-0 run after the Pacers had cut the lead in half.
I would really love this offseason for Mikal Bridges to give me a big man game.
Approaching the final half minute of the second quarter, 30 to play, 16 to shoot. Pacers from right to left. Nemhard finds Walker on a pick and pop top of the key. He'll take a 3 over Towns, and it rolls out as the shot clock turns off. 19 seconds left. And the Knicks, if they play this right, will have at least an 11-point lead heading into the locker room, and the fans feel it. They're on their feet here at MSG. They have not seen the Knicks beat the Pacers at home in this series. They're off to a great start so far. Brunson slip pass inside to a covered Mikal Bridges, poked away by Nemhard. Halliburton, a half-court heave at the horn, front rim, no. It hung in the air, frighteningly similar to Game 1, but that time it fell off to the right. It's an 11-point Knick lead despite their best efforts to turn it over right before the break. 56-45, they're in front.
There goes that word, and I prefer my turnovers with a delightful apple filling and preferably a cinnamon sugar crumble. Not giving up 12 points in a must-have game, a do-or-die game, in fact. 7 turnovers for the Knicks, 6 turnovers forced for the Pacers. I guess you'll take that, but the Knicks have already given up double-digit scoring off of their turnovers, and in particular in the last 3 minutes of the second quarter, Tyler. These are the moments where you have to lock in to the next level mentally and make smart decisions.
Talk about locked in. Karl Anthony Towns, a 17-point double-double already, 7 of 11 from the field. And then Jalen Brunson, he was on fire early, 14 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. Knicks by 11 with their season on the brink. 56-45 at the halftime break. Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Pat O'Keefe will have your coverage on the other side of the break. New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
Spring has finally arrived, and if you think a new central air conditioning system is out of your budget, think again. Sloman's is here to change the game with our Spring Fling sale. We're now offering cutting-edge 18-SEER 2025 refrigerant-compliant R454B systems, expertly installed by our certified technicians, all at the lowest prices of the year. That's right, get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. And we're including a comprehensive service plan for the first 5 years with annual system checks to keep your AC running smoothly all summer long. Servicing Nassau, Suffolk, and Queens County. Call Sloman's at 516-932-7000 for your free estimate. But hurry, these cool savings won't last. That's 516-932-7000. 18-month promo period, no payment, no interest, and no down payment offer. The offer is available through a third-party bank. On approved credit, interest is waived if loan is repaid in full during the same as cash period. Terms and conditions apply.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. Check out the Honda Ridgeline, Pilot, Passport, or CR-V. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 1.99% APR on a 2025 Ridgeline or a 3.99% APR on a 2025 Pilot, 2026 Passport, or 2025 CR-V.
Contact your local Honda dealer for a great deal today.
See dealer for financing details.
Attention Knicks fans! Looking for infusion care that puts you first? Thrivewell Infusion specializes in delivering cutting-edge therapies for rare diseases and autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis and multiple sclerosis. Trusted by physicians across specialties, Thrivewell offers private state-of-the-art infusion suites and slam-dunk treatment from their highly trained medical team. From New York to New Jersey and across Long Island, experience care, comfort, convenience, and compassion like never before at a Thrivewell location near you. Find out more at ThrivewellInfusion.com. That's ThrivewellInfusion.com. Saving lives drip by drip.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories, superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Fanatics Fest NYC is back this June 20th through the 22nd at the Javits Center. Buy your tickets now and save 10% off your tickets by using promo code KNICKS. Come see the world's greatest lineup of athletes, including Derek Jeter, Tom Brady, Eli Manning, Kevin Durant, Mike Piazza, and over 200 more. Experience immersive activations presented by the top sports leagues as well as over 700 tables of trading cards and memorabilia. Use the promo code KNICKS at fanaticsfest.com to save 10% off your tickets to the greatest sports fan festival ever assembled.
This is the Spectrum New York Knicks halftime show. Now, here's Pat O'Keefe.
Here at the Garden with the Knicks trying to keep their season alive in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. They have an 11-point lead at the half, 56-45 over the Indiana Pacers, as we welcome you to the New York Knicks halftime report brought to you by Spectrum. Scorching hot start for Jalen Brunson. He's got 14 points. Karl Anthony Towns carried the load in the second quarter. He has a game-high 17 as the Knicks have put together a pretty complete first half. Pat O'Keefe and Wally Zerbiak breaking down the first half. A first-half lead for the Knicks in this series. Wally has been somewhat of a rarity. Overall, is this their best first half of the series?
Absolutely, especially on the defensive end of the floor. You held the Pacers to 37% shooting because the effort was there. Max effort on the defensive end of the floor. I saw some adjustments, not allowing Tyrese Halliburton to get a running start into those screens like he did in Game 4. The Knicks are picking him up a lot earlier, right when he gets over half court, sometimes in the backcourt, making him turn a couple times so he can't just get that momentum. And I'll tell you, the defense was locked in. And Jalen and Kat just looking like they don't want this season to end.
They're carrying the offense for sure, but tell me more about what you're seeing from this quote-unquote defensive unit that Tom Thibodeau is going with in the second quarter. DeLon Wright, Landry Shamet, Deuce McBride. They started the quarter up by 4, and when they left the game, the Knicks had a double-digit lead.
Josh Hart's with that unit, and so is Karl Anthony Towns. So those 4 perimeter guys, they can switch every screen. And they're not afraid to battle Pascal Siakam in the post. We saw that from Landry Shamet. And then they go through, offensively, they go through Karl Anthony Towns. He's the guy. Obviously, Indiana has no answer for him. So when you put 4 shooters out there around him, or 3 shooters and Josh Hart who's capable, he's going to have space to work, and he's going to be able to just get aggressive and dominate with that second unit. Also, the Pacers don't have their starters out there, so you're going up against their second unit. And as a result, Landry Shamet's a +10 and DeLon Wright's a +8. And that unit has been really successful the whole entire series. That gets a little bit of rest for the starters. And if this series is going to go the distance and keep going more and more games, the less minutes you can pound on your regulars, the more beneficial it is in a long series as it continues to drag on.
So the Knicks held the Pacers to 22 points in the second quarter, the Knicks scoring 29, and as you mentioned, Wally, carrying the offensive load was Karl Anthony Towns, and that leads us to our best parts of the half, brought to you by Smashburger.
Towns lumbers in, hits a right-hand layup and one. Karl Anthony Towns extends the Knicks lead to 11, their largest of the night, and a free throw's coming up.
The beginning of the second quarter, that's when Brunson's on the bench, so clearly the offense runs through Karl Anthony Towns during those minutes, and he has had a monster series offensively.
Well, they have no answer for him. Just his skill level is through the roof. They don't have they have a big guy that can't move his feet and keep him in front in Miles Turner, and they have a smaller guy they've tried on him, and Pascal Siakam that doesn't have the size or strength to deal with him down low. So they just got to continue to get him the ball in the right spots, and I've said it this whole entire series. Indiana's going to beat you if they're the more aggressive team. But if the Knicks can be the more aggressive and attacking team like they were in the first half, that puts Indiana on their heels. They don't shoot as high of a percentage. They're not as front-running as they like to be, and you can win these games. And the Knicks had the recipe in that first half, and they just got to keep that foot completely down on the gas in this second half.
Towns already a double-double, 17 points, 10 rebounds. He's 7 for 11 shooting and played 20 first-half minutes. That was the best parts of the half, brought to you by Smashburger with locations throughout the New York City area. Smashburger is ready to greet you with a variety of smash-to-order burgers, fries and sides, milkshakes, and more. To find your nearest location or to place an order today, visit smashburger.com. Pat O'Keefe, Wally Zerbiak, Game 5 at the Garden. Knicks lead the Pacers 56-45 at the half. Couple of guys I want to point out didn't have their best performances in Game 4 the other night. First and foremost, Jalen Brunson, and just the way that he came out in that first quarter.
Yeah, you could tell he wanted to set the tone, and he wasn't going to be worried about, am I supposed to be setting the table? I'm just going to go out there, get buckets, get the lead for our team, and get this Pacer team on their heels. And he knows that's what you have to do. He set the tone. He did an outstanding job of it. He still did have 31 points in Game 4. But, he can score.
The bar is set high.
Yes, it is. He can score at will anytime he wants. And that tone that he set was very important. And I think the defensive tone, too, was important, too, because he's flying around there, giving max effort on the defensive end of the floor. Obviously, he's a little undersized. There's some tough matchups for him out there. But if you do it with max effort, your teammates, your fans, your coaches, they can see that, and that kind of carries through for the rest of the guys on the team.
It wasn't the best performance for Josh Hart the other night. He had those 5 turnovers, a lot of unforced errors. You had a feeling that he was going to come out strong today. How about the way that he contributed in the second quarter especially?
Yeah, those turnovers, they were just an anomaly. They happen every once in a while. You got to be aggressive against a team like the Pacers. You got to attack them, and you're going to make some turnovers. You just have to be smart. Knicks turned the ball over a few times here, but if they do it with the right mindset and the right attacking mentality, I have no problem with a few turnovers as long as you're being aggressive and trying to make things happen for yourself and your teammates.
Thrivewell Infusion, New York's premier infusion and injection center, saving lives drip by drip. So the start of the third quarter has been a crucial point for this team throughout the playoffs. The Pacers started Game 4, third quarter, on a 7-0 run. What are you looking for from the Knicks coming out of the locker room right now?
Well, let's get all these amazing fans in their seats when the game starts, because a lot of them are hanging out in the Delta Club or hanging out somewhere in the bathrooms, and they're not in their seats yet, and the Knicks seem to not have that little spice and that little boost that they need, so that's important. The final thing, the next thing is just keep this Pacer team on their heels by getting into them early on the defensive end of the floor. If they start making heroic shots, fine, but don't let them get into flow. That's a key. And the Knicks didn't let them get into flow in that first half. And then the last thing is just continue to attack. I mean, if the Knicks lose and they're in full attack mode, you can live with that. But if the Knicks lose by being passive and letting the Pacers dictate the tempo, the attacking and the aggressiveness, I'm not all right with that. So the Knicks got to just let it all hang out in the second half.
Those are Wally's keys to the half, driven by Ramsey Mazda. Wally, you and Bill and Alan and Monica on the post-game show on MSG Networks. We'll check it in.
You got it. Sounds good. Thanks, Matt.
Wally's keys to the half are driven by Ramsey Mazda. It's the experience of driving a new Mazda and buying a new Mazda from Ramsey Mazda. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. 56-45. Knicks lead by 11 at the break. Rep the orange and blue with the latest pieces from the Knicks playoff collection. Head to Knicks.com to shop now. Knicks in that first half shooting 51% from the field, holding the Pacers to 37.5%. Tyrese Halliburton 0 for 3 from the field, 0 for 2 from downtown, 4 points and 3 assists. And stay in the know about all things postseason on our playoff hub. From purchasing tickets to our Crosstown Express schedule and more, head to Knicks.com/playoffs. That was the New York Knicks halftime report, brought to you by Spectrum, a fast and reliable connection backed by a 100% U.S.-based workforce, so you get the best customer experience possible. Spectrum. Knicks looking to close it out in the second half as they lead the Pacers by a score of 56-45. Tyler Murray, Monica McNutt take you the rest of the way, and I'll be back with you on the postgame show. I'm Pat O'Keefe, and you're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
This has been the Spectrum New York Knicks halftime show. The second half is coming right up.
New York Presbyterian gives you the healthcare choices you want, like over 450 locations in Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, and Westchester. Virtual care that lets you connect with us digitally. World-class doctors from Columbia and Weill Cornell Medicine, and Health Matters, an online source for the latest health and wellness topics and tips. Experience extraordinary healthcare when and where you need it. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian. Restrictions apply.
You want to get the most for your money. That's why more Mazda buyers choose Ramsey Mazda. Lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-5 all-wheel drive, just $239 a month for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com or at Ramsey Mazda, Route 17 North in Ramsey. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. Excludes tax, title, and registration. Zero security deposit. VIN S0571604. MSRP $29,990 and $6225.
Not hungry right now? Think about a burger. Still not hungry? Think about a smash burger. Yeah, that's what we thought. Can you hear the sizzle of the griddle? Can you smell the Angus beef? Can you taste the charred perfection? The hunger's kicked in. The salivary glands have turned on like a spigot. It's time to make it yours. Go to smashburger.com to find the closest spot.
Your days move fast. Deadlines, school drop-offs, dinner plans. Good thing Optimum Fiber doesn't take slow for an answer. Get the fastest fiber internet in the tri-state, starting at $40 a month, so you can. With lightning fast fiber, Optimum Fiber, don't take slow for an answer. Call 888-4-OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com to switch today. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
Getting ready for the second half here at Madison Square Garden. These fans hoping this will not be the last game at the Mecca this year. It's going to take a couple of wins, or at this point, can you win 1.5 halves in these Eastern Conference Finals? The Knicks won the first half here in Game 5 by 11 points. 56-45 is the current score as we get you set for quarter number 3. When it's game time, it's Tully time. The start of the second half is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. It's the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. With Monica McNutt, I'm Tyler Murray. Thanks to Pat O'Keefe and Wally Zerbiak for the typically excellent halftime analysis. As the Knicks will look to ride the momentum, not necessarily from the very end of that second quarter where the Pacers cut into the 14-point deficit, but the very beginning of the second. Another example where a defense-heavy Knick lineup can really spark some offense as they've found a way to create 6 turnovers against Indiana. Thrivewell Infusion, New York's premier infusion and injection center, saving lives drip by drip. Scoring leaders after the first 2 quarters, Karl Anthony Towns has 17, Jalen Brunson has 14, and nobody on Indiana is in double figures. The big mystery right now is where is Tyrese Halliburton? He is 0 for 3 from the field. All 4 of his points have come at the free throw line. And after a 34-point or 32-point triple-double in Game 4, he has been nowhere to be found. Let's see if he can pick it up as he will bring the ball up to begin this third quarter. Pacers from left to right in yellow. Knicks in white. Halliburton right side mid-range. Looking for a handoff to Nesmith. They'll get it there. Turns the corner, attacks inside. 2 long steps underneath the paint, and they will call a travel to start the half with the 7th Pacer turnover.
Excellent defense there by Mitchell Robinson, avoiding the foul and just allowing Aaron Nesmith himself to get a little tied up in terms of his footwork. All right, now as we start this third quarter, all too relevant in terms of my memory is the sluggish start by the Knicks in Game 4. That terrible 0 for I don't know, it wasn't quite 7, but that terrible 0 start in Game 4. They cannot afford to do such thing here.
You're referring to the 7-0 run to end the first half, and then the 6-0 run to start the second half as Towns runs over Neesmith, who draws the charge just outside the restricted area, so an offensive foul on Cat. Neesmith is on his back, reaching for the left side of his neck, and now he allows Siakam and Turner to help him up. So Towns picks up his second foul. It is the original starting 5 that began the game for the Knicks. That means the double big lineup with Towns and Robinson. And a good sign to see how well they played in that first quarter, where Robinson played all 12 minutes. Knicks outscored Indiana by 4. It felt like Indiana had solved the Cat Robinson lineup puzzle as Nembhard drives the right side of the paint, missed a layup with a good contest from Brunson rotating over. Nick ball from right to left, up by 11. 1 minute gone by in the third. Brunson across the paint, had it poked away from behind, got it back, and then almost threw it away on the right wing to Anunoby as Halliburton stepped into the dribble handoff, but he batted it out of bounds. Far sideline inbound. Brunson gets it to Bridges, and a hand back to Brunson at the logo. Neesmith hounding him. Screen from Bridges. Switches Halliburton onto Brunson. And a pick up top from Robinson. Pick and roll down the lane. Brunson lefty scoop shot. Rolls in off the back rim. It's 58-45 Knicks.
So one thing I think to call out in this series, outside of his Game 4 historic triple-double, Tyrese Halliburton typically has been better in the second halves in this matchup than he has been in the first.
Neesmith ripped the net on a far corner 3 in front of his bench. Back to a 10-point game. Knicks are 5 of 14 from downtown. Pacers 8 of 19 now, 42%. Brunson right back on the attack, scores and one. Left hand layup as he worked his way to the rim. Neesmith looking around, asking what he did wrong. Well, he didn't stay in front of Brunson. The first 3 Knick baskets of the game was Brunson beating Neesmith. And now 18 points for Brunson on 8 of 12 shooting.
But on these first couple of baskets, LT, Jalen Brunson, the degree of physicality on them has been high.
Remember, Neesmith was taken out of the game just 3 minutes in. He's questionable in Game 4 and now Game 5 with an ankle injury, but played awfully well on Tuesday. MVP chance at MSG for Brunson. Free throw at the basket to our left, off the front rim and down. It's 61-48 Knicks, 90 seconds into the second half. Halliburton races ahead to the right elbow, now backs up near wing. Picked up by Mitchell Robinson. Crossover, dish to the left elbow, pull up 2 from Siakam, short over Towns, rebound Robinson. Knicks by 13. They've held the Pacers to 37% shooting overall, so they're better from 3 than they are from 2 so far. At the logo, Towns holds the ball high with his right hand. Siakam trying to paw it away. It's Towns on a one-hand pass to the right side for Brunson, catch and shoot 3. He got it! Brunson from the far side angle. He's got 22 points, and the Knicks have a game-high 16-point lead.
Just 5 seconds on the shot clock there, and Jalen Brunson answers. Now on the other end, though, Tyrese Halliburton with a hesitation, a little bit of a hesitation on the left side, and able to attack.
Inbound was stolen by Neesmith after that Halliburton layup. That's his first field goal. 14-point lead for the Knicks, but Pacers get the ball right back. Pick and roll, Halliburton and Siakam, and it's spiked out of bounds on a layup attempt. Halliburton pulled that move on Tuesday, kind of jumped from the dotted line, went into a crouch in midair into a righty scoop shot. But Mr. Robinson was not on the floor the last time he tried it. That ball spiked out of bounds to the right baseline.
Great defensive timing by Mitchell Robinson.
10 to shoot for Indiana. Right wing Turner picked up his dribble, hounded by Robinson, trying to pivot away from the pressure. Robinson poked it out of bounds. It's going to be off Turner's leg. Knicks ball. It's the 8th turnover forced by New York tonight. All of Game 4, they only took it away 11 times.
And this crowd is probably the loudest I think we've heard it. They've been a bit subdued. I think there's some nervous energy, but they got up behind that Mitchell Robinson forced turnover.
Just the thought of Indiana winning all 3 games in this series in New York makes you sick. Brunson left wing pump fake. He got Turner to flinch, but has to reset off a pass from Bridges. Back to the left perimeter. Brunson off the dribble 3. Not this time. Offensive rebound put back up and in by Robinson. Knicks by 16. And then Robinson got trucked coming out of the inbound pass, but apparently a timeout was already called by Rick Carlisle, and the entire Knick bench hops off the floor to help up Robinson. We're talking to Chua, Huck Porty, Shamet, Dadier, Kolek, all getting Mitchell Robinson back on his feet as the Knicks have a 16-point lead, 3 minutes and 11 seconds into the second half.
In order to keep this series in play, it is going to require maximum effort on both sides of the floor and maximum focus from this New York Knicks squad. So far, they've been able to do that, but they know by the nature of this series, particularly the last 2 games that were here in New York, this thing is far from over. They're going to have to withstand a run from the Pacers.
But a stat we've kept an eye on the entire postseason, the Knicks are up 13-4 in second chance points, by far their biggest advantage in that department in the series. 66-50, Knicks lead the Pacers in Game 5 by 16, 8:49 to go in the third. New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
Get a double-digit bonus exclusively for Knicks fans from Food Bazaar Supermarket. Take $10 off of your order of $50 or more when you shop online at shop.foodbazaar.com. Plus, your first delivery is free. Go to shop.foodbazaar.com and use promo code FANSGET10 for the largest selection of international foods, an all-star lineup of the freshest meat, seafood, and produce, and $10 off of your first order of $50. Use promo code FANSGET10 at shop.foodbazaar.com.
Hey Knicks fans, now at Verizon, they're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on my plan. And you can get a single line for just $45 a month when you switch and bring your phone. That's their best price ever on unlimited welcome with auto pay plus taxes and fees. Guaranteed for 3 years. Because at Verizon, they got you. Visit your local Verizon store today. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply.
Step inside an Infiniti QX60 and relax in uninterrupted comfort. Leave schedules, appointments, and meetings behind. That can definitely wait. Just turn on the available massage seats and unwind for just a little longer until you feel infinitely you. Discover more about the Infiniti QX60 crossover at InfinityUSA.com.
Knicks fans, when deciding to take a charter bus, there's only one choice. That's Best Trails and Travel, New York City's premier charter bus company. Best Trails and Travel has the highest level of charter bus service in New York City and has been serving New York's leading corporations, professional sports teams, and private individuals for 30 years. They offer premier customer service and the newest fleet of buses in the industry. Whether you're traveling with family, friends, or colleagues, Best Trails and Travel guarantees you the ultimate traveling experience. Visit them at besttrailstravel.com or call 212-206-6974.
Knicks by 16 with 8:49 to go in the third quarter of Game 5. For the first time all postseason, it truly is a must-win game for the Knicks, down 3-1 in the series. Get to your local Verizon store today to trade in any phone in any condition, guaranteed, and get a great deal on a new 5G phone with unlimited ultimate. With Monica McNutt, I'm Tyler Murray. It'll be Brunson, Bridges, Anunoby, Robinson, and Towns on the floor. So the same starting 5 we've seen now for the last 3 games. The Pacers come out with Halliburton, Nesmith, Siakam, Nembhard, and Turner still.
Solid continuity between these guys. A much better job communicating defensively than some of the lapses we've seen over the course of the series with this group.
Pacers in yellow from left to right. Turner on the right point, dribbles to the far side perimeter, but he's matched up by Robinson, not giving him anywhere to go. All the way back to the midcourt logo, has to hand off to Nesmith with 4 to shoot. Walks into a straight-on 3 over Brunson, almost airballed it off the front rim. Long right corner rebound to Turner, took it away from Anunoby. But Turner threw it right to 2 Knicks. Bridges and Towns were fighting for who would get the steal, and it winds up with Bridges. From right to left come the Knicks, far side mid-range. Towns faces up on Turner, now posting him up at the far block, but Nembhard ambushed him with a poke from behind, and then on the loose ball, Towns apparently pushed off on Nembhard, so a loose ball foul on Cat. That is his 3rd in the middle of a 17-point double-double.
I would love to see the data on who gets popped for loose ball fouls the most. I feel like that's a common whistle when it comes to Karl Anthony Towns.
There's a sequence in the fourth quarter in Game 4 where just about every loose ball whistle was going against the Knicks. That was a good call, though, on Towns. He pulled Nembhard down by the left shoulder.
Well, I also think the Knicks have to do a better job of communicating him and with him and remind him that double team's coming.
Nesmith, far side baseline, defended by Brunson, attacks him into the paint, pushed off, no call. He's stripped by Brunson, out of bounds, right baseline, off of New York, they'll say, with 7 on the shot clock.
Tibbs is looking back to his second row. they are opting not to challenge this one. None of the players were demonstrative in the challenge either, so play on. Although, I don't know.
It went initially off of Neesmith's right leg, but it might have grazed Robinson's left knee on its way to the out of bounds. Siakam far corner, matched up with a smaller Brunson. Anunoby comes to double team. Siakam spins out of it, finds a straight on shooter Neesmith. He back ribbed it off the dribble. Good defense from Bridges. Towns' 11th rebound in the hand to Brunson. Finds Anunoby far corner. He'll take a three. Short from in front of the Knick bench. And the rebound is tipped over to Tony Bradley, but he did not establish position from the left baseline. He had 1 foot out of bounds, and while the ball was bouncing his way, then he tried to sneak back in, but that's going to go back to New York.
Karl Anthony Towns has been a monster on the glass. He's already got a double-double, 17 points and 11 rebounds to go with that. The next closest rebounder is Mitchell Robinson at 6.
Knicks by 16, 7:34 to go in the third, and they give it away. Inbound was intended for Towns. It's out of his reach. Picked up at midcourt by Siakam. He'll go coast to coast. A handoff to Bradley. He's rejected by Robinson. And what looked like it would be an easy two is going to be 2 not guaranteed free throws for the classic center, Tony Bradley, off a good hustle play from Mitchell Robinson. Fans thought that was a clean block. There was some leg contact.
Well, and there's Bradley's right arm, Robinson's left arm. This is not clean. It's a great effort and a great hustle back by Mitchell Robinson, to your point, to stop what was likely a guaranteed to. Now you at least make Bradley go to the free throw line and earn him.
At the basket to our right, he connects on the first. It's a 15-point game. Knicks have led the whole way, 66-51 the score, with 7:27 left in the third.
This has been certainly a much better start than what we saw the last time these two teams met in Indiana on Tuesday. But I just continue to say, the unforced turnovers, you don't want to look up and those come back and haunt you. Turning the ball over on an inbounds, come on, guys. Be professionals.
It's 11 Knick giveaways now. If they wipe those out, they're home free. Bradley gets both free throws, 66-52 Knicks. Brunson right elbow, fighting through some contact. Gets it back from Robinson, top of the key, dribbles to the near side wing. Nembhard on his zip, pulls up for 2. Got fouled from behind on a left elbow jumper. Almost connected for a 3-point play, but he'll settle for 2 free throws.
The thing that's disheartening, I'm not going to call it alarming just yet, but I was vacillating on my word choice, is it's 4 turnovers already. And we just started this third quarter. They had 11 at halftime, or they had 7, at halftime, and they're up to 11. Now they've only given up 2 more points off of those turnovers, and so they're fortunate in that regard. But the timing of these turnovers, you end the quarter with 3 turnovers when you could have had an opportunity to pad to the lead. You're trying to pad to the lead to start the third quarter, to set the tempo. The timing of these turnovers in particular is not great, especially the ones that are live ball turnovers.
Brunson sinks the first free throw. He's got a game-high 23 as Benedict Mathurin comes into the game for Aaron Neesmith, whose minutes have definitely been tightened up here in Game 5. It's a 15-point Knick lead. It's a double-edged sword, the turnovers, Monica. In one way, it's encouraging because taking care of the basketball is a fixable problem. But if you don't come back and win this series, there's nothing more frustrating than pointing at turnovers for the reason you couldn't get it done.
Yeah, and remember, it was 17 in Game 4. That was good for 20 points off of those turnovers. You're 6 points away and 9 turnovers away, or excuse me, 6 turnovers away from repeating that. A lot of game to play.
16-point lead. Pick and slip with Thomas Bryant, who gets his first action in the last few games. He was blocked by Robinson on a dunk attempt. Bryant wanted a foul. It's not coming. Anunoby posting up the smaller Nembhard. Almost lost a dribble in the lane. Gets it back up top to Towns. Covered closely by Siakam, so he'll put it on the deck. Drives the lane, hangs in the air, and gets a layup to go around Bryant. 18-point lead, the largest of the series for New York. And a turnover forced at midcourt. Stolen by Robinson. Brunson ahead of the pack. Alley-oop to Anunoby. Almost jammed it in with the right hand, but he got fouled. And 2 free throws are on the way. This place was about to erupt. They will settle for a golf clap. And 2 free throws on the way for Anunoby, with the Knicks up 70-52.
What a spectrum. An eruption versus a golf clap. But to OG Anunoby's credit, he goes up with one hand trying to flush this one. And because of the contact, he's hitting his core essentially, and so he's off balance in the air, if that makes sense. But it does, because he is an elite athlete.
Andrew Nembhard picks up his 3rd foul as Anunoby connects on the free throw. Ben Shepherd about to check in. Tyrese Halliburton standing at the far sideline. He's got an assistant coach's arm around his left shoulder. A perplexing 23 minutes so far from Halliburton, who's going to stay on the floor. 1 of 5, 3 assists. One game after people were calling his performance in Game 4 a perfect game. 32-point triple-double.
Who said that?
Tim Legler, Zach Lowe, Ryan Russillo.
All guys that I respect, but chill on Perfect. Perfect is not missing a shot.
2 free throws for Anunoby, and on the other end, a foul on a Siakam dotted line jump shot. They're going to get Karl Anthony Towns for his 4th foul, and free throws coming up for Siakam, but a 20-point Knick lead. Tony Bradley apparently was walked back to the tunnel and/or locker room, and perhaps that's why we saw Thomas Bryant check in. Siakam can't hit the first foul shot, and Josh Hart will check into the game for Karl Anthony Towns. 19 points, 11 rebounds for him, and 2 assists. He had 3 assists in Game 4, which was his most since the playoff opener here against Detroit.
I know we talked about what he's averaging in this postseason and how you need to watch the games to see what the feel is. You feel Karl Anthony Towns tonight without question. He's having a terrific game. And I said this in the first quarter. I thought some of the putbacks, the rebounds that he got, the easy putbacks, were as important as any three or as any fantastic finish off of dribble penetration tonight.
He's having a terrific game and an even better series, Karl Anthony Towns. Second free throw good for Siakam, coming off another 30-point effort in Game 4. Brunson tried to sneak a pass inside to a cutting Hart, but Siakam got a foot in the way, which saved 2 easy points. 19-point Knick lead, 6:17 to go in the third. Thrivewell Infusion, New York's premier infusion and injection center, saving lives drip by drip. Near sideline inbound for Anunoby. Hart trying to break free, but the pass was tipped out of bounds by Siakam right back to that near sideline.
I don't love the one-handed inbounds by OG Anunoby. It just seems like it's setting yourself up for unnecessary nervousness. Let's be sound all the way around. That's what deliberate basketball looks like, being sound.
As the inbound plays, the Pacers look like the Kansas City Chiefs offense, and the Knicks look like one of the local teams, respectfully. Knicks throw it away, far corner, pick off by Halliburton, 70-foot outlet to Mathurin. He caught it at the right baseline, lost it, got it back, and then Robinson hip-checked him out of bounds, and they will call the foul. And it should be free throws for Mathurin.
Unfortunately, the turnover woes seem to continue for Josh Hart in this one. Well, that's actually only his first turnover. I apologize. I was getting tied up on the box score looking at total rebounds, TOT. He has 4 rebounds. Well, he had 4 rebounds at the half. But that's the second time that he has that same play where he predetermines he's going to spray to a guy in the corner. And I personally thought, and I agree with our statistician Tyler Freed, he can shoot the basketball right there. And he can go to the free throw line and knock down free throws.
Just like he did to seal the win in Game 3. On Indy 500 Sunday, apparently the Pacers are 0-4 in their history when they have a playoff game on Big Race Day. So let's schedule another one of those for Saturday if the Knicks can force it. Free throws good on the right side basket for Mathurin. It's 72-55 New York. Obi Toppin will check in at the next whistle for the Pacers. Starting 5 still on the floor for the Knicks. Far corner 3, Josh Hart. Short from in front of the bench. Offensive rebound, Bridges. Anunoby left wing. Now to Hart, top of the key. Tried to spin at the foul line on Siakam, who poked it away. Hart got it back. Dishes left wing for Bridges. Dribbles to the far elbow. Backing down Mathurin. Feeds a cutting Hart. Shows the ball to Siakam to get him off his feet. And missed a wide open turnaround right-hander. Outlet to midcourt is picked off by Anunoby. Stripped momentarily by Mathurin. Now back to Anunoby on the far corner. Pump fake. Takes the 3. Short from in front of the Knick bench. And then Josh Hart tipped the ball out of bounds, and they're going to call a foul on him, in fact, which will be the 5th in the quarter on the Knicks. So Mathurin right back to the free throw line. 5:22 left in the third. It's a 17-point game, but there are a few moments here where the Knicks are not taking advantage of the opportunity to widen the advantage.
The last 2 plays, that includes the original half-court play, the steal by OG Anunoby. I just think they're moving too fast. And they don't need to. They can play until they get a good shot. OG Anunoby tonight, he's not been great from 3, and we talked about it earlier. He's been up and down from 3. in this series. He's 0 for 4. Why do you settle for a corner three with Pascal Siakam right there?
At the right side basket, Mathurin takes a dribble and connects on the free throw. With Monica McNutt, I'm Tyler Murray. Ray Santiago, our producer. Tyler Freed, our statistician. And Gary Jeffries, our engineer. Another reminder that Knicks basketball is brought to you by ThriveWell Infusion, New York's premier infusion and injection center, saving lives drip by drip.
This is curious too, Tyler, because remember, the Knicks were in, similar is not quite the word, they were in a similar position regarding foul trouble in Game 4 in terms of having an advantage there. The Pacers, really, at this point, they are in the bonus, so they have the opportunity or the privilege of just kind of forcing the Knicks to defend.
Mathurin got both again, and it's 19 free throws for Indiana, 10 for the Knicks, and now a reach-in foul 40 feet from the basket. Mathurin fouls Brunson. I never know how they decide these. That is a defensive approach that the Pacers have been taking all series, reaching in, grabbing, holding on Brunson, 94 feet from the basket. Sometimes they blow the whistle, sometimes they don't.
Preach! You preaching?
All right, so it's not just me.
No, it's not just you.
5:09 to go in the third. Brunson crossover left wing in the paint, kick out to a wide open Josh Hart will take a long two from the top of the key. Missed it with his right toe on the line. Final 5 minutes of the third quarter. Pacers hanging around with a 3-1 series lead. They're down 15. Halliburton whipped a pass inside to Toppin. He was fouled on the catch by Brunson and banked home a layup. It's 72-59, and Toppin can make it a 12-point game with a free throw. Pacers are 7 of 8 from the foul line in this quarter, which has helped them survive a 3 for 10 shooting quarter from the field.
I think you got to get some of your defenders on the floor. The offense has stalled out. At least get some energy defensively. Carlisle has a mix of his guys on the floor. The only starter is Tyrese Halliburton. Now's an opportunity to do it so that some of your starters can be fresh for the all-important fourth quarter.
They get Deuce McBride in for OG Anunoby, so it's Brunson, Bridges, Hart, McBride, and Robinson. Foul shot good for Toppin. It's a 12-point game. So the Knicks have a 1-point advantage since halftime. They led by 11 at the break, and a good pass from Brunson to a wide-open Bridges. He makes the layup from the near side of the rim.
Shout out to the lay.
It's a 14-point Knick lead again. 4.5 to go before the fourth. Toppin catch and drive down the lane, and he beats Hart to the rim with a righty layup. 12-point game again, 74-62 with 4:20 left in the third. Hart will take it up court to give Brunson a breather. Sets up at the near side wing, a whistle and a foul away from the ball. My guess is it's an intentional foul to get Mitchell Robinson to the free throw line.
Well, I'm actually okay with this in mind because now the rest of the Knicks are also in the bonus. And we saw Mitchell Robinson knock down 2 last time out.
We did. 2 for 2 on the road in Indianapolis. He's 2 for 6 in this building in the series. But because he made his last 2, his playoff average is up to 40%. At the basket to our left, he back rims the first. The form has looked better and better as the playoffs have gone on. There's no more airballing against Boston than putting your head in your hands.
Yeah, you know me. I do not subscribe to anybody really stepping to the line until it's time to step into the rhythm of their free throw. And Robinson was camped out on the line prior to that first one with his hands on his knees recovering. And look, he has a right to be tired. He's been a presence. He's played good basketball tonight. 6 points, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks.
First Nick missed at the free throw line. They were 10 of 10. It was Nick Wright, I believe, of Fox Sports, as Robinson misses both. His rule change is to give the Knicks the opportunity, like in football, to decline the free throws as Mathurin snakes inside on the break and draws a foul on a right-hand layup. Brunson looking around, asking what he did wrong. If it's a foul on him, it's his third. Meanwhile, Precious Achiuwa will check into the game. Pacers very much alive after trailing by 20 earlier in this quarter. Mitchell Robinson will get the foul. It is his third. What do you think? So Tom Thibodeau could say, oh, we'll take that 5th foul, but we'll just inbound it from the sideline. We don't want to shoot. Is that a good way to eliminate the hack-a-Mitch?
Yeah, because then the other teams have to question if it's actually an advantage. The Knicks, I don't know how great the Knicks have been off of inbounds, though, unfortunately.
Fair. Robinson gets a nice hand as he checks out of the game. He played the entire first quarter, then got the second quarter off, and now almost 8 full minutes in the third. 6 points, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks, and he's 3 for 3 from the field. 0 for 2 from the line. Mathurin made the first and the second. He really is, I was about to say free throw merchant, but that skews negative. He has done a wonderful job getting to the free throw line. He was 10 of 11 on Tuesday from the stripe, and today Mathurin 6 of 6. 8 minutes gone by in the third quarter. It's back to a 10-point game. Brunson left side drive, snaps the head back, no call. Banked in a lefty layup over Mathurin. And he puts the goggles on, not because of a good assist, but because of what he believes to be questionable officiating.
All right, well, now here's the opportunity for this Knicks defense to stand up.
Halliburton feeds the far baseline. Thomas Bryant did not know what to do with the basketball. Almost double dribbled, and now a moving screen on Ben Shepherd out high. Knicks will take over, up by 12.
Rick Carlisle is urgently getting Pascal Siakam in the game for the last 3:40 of this third quarter. But this, to me, Tyler, you had a 20-point lead at a point in this third quarter. And I get it. Basketball is a game of runs. I've said that all through the season, and we've seen 20-point leads come and go, so I'm not going to harp on that too much. But in particular, when you look at points off of turnovers, you've given up 4 points off of turnovers so far in this one. And there's still time left to play, so hopefully that number stays there.
Well, you have to finish this third quarter strong. 12-point lead, 3.5 to go. Brunson up top against Halliburton. Crossover, drives down the paint, hands to a cutting Hart left baseline. Spins in the paint, lost it, got it back. Right wing feed for Bridges. Baseline leaner, far side, nailed it. Mikal Bridges, 8 points, 4 of 8 shooting. Quiet, but productive, 78-64 New York. Siakam out high. He just came in for Thomas Bryant. If we can tell Bryant's confused, Rick Carlisle sure can, as Mathurin misses a straight on 3, in and out, and Brunson gets the rebound.
Good defense by Anunoby and McBride at the top on that screen in which Mathurin pulled up.
Right wing 3, Brunson off the dribble. He got it and one! 4-point play opportunity for Brunson, and the Knicks have an 81-64 lead.
That is a refusal to lose on display. Jalen Brunson tonight is 3 of 5 from the three-point line. He is certainly bouncing back after his lowest scoring fourth quarter in this postseason with just 2 points in Game 4.
Timeout on the floor. The Knicks want the referees to challenge for a reckless closeout by Obi Toppin. If that's the case, the Knicks will get a free throw and the basketball. But we have a timeout on the floor. 81-64. The three-point basket counts no matter what for Brunson. So he's got a game-high 26. And the Knicks have a 81-64 advantage. The final 2:56 of the third quarter comes your way next. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to drive smarter with high-tech features and excellent reliability. Check out the Honda Civic, Accord, or HR-V. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 4.99% APR on a 2025 Civic or a 3.99% APR on a 2025 Accord or HR-V.
Contact your local Honda dealer for a great deal today.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic Si and Type R.
When you open a Corona, you hear the sounds of wherever you are a little differently. A little more Corona. And you think to yourself, why am I just listening? Corona. La Playa awaits. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
This postseason, BetMGM, authorized gaming operator of the NBA, is making first field goal scorer wagers more exciting with Second Chance. Simply bet on any player to score the first field goal during any playoff game. If you're right, you win. But if your pick scores second instead of first, you get your stake back in cash. Grab the chance of getting your stake back at BetMGM, authorized gaming operator of the NBA. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
To win the NBA Finals, everything needs to line up perfectly. No different than finding the person you want to marry. When the time comes to propose, well, do what I did. Visit the engagement experts at London Jewelers. They'll make shopping for a ring easy. Let them help you pick or design the perfect ring to fit any budget from their 2 by London collection. London Jewelers is committed to getting it just right. So visit London Jewelers today at any of their 6 locations, including Americana Manhasset and the mall at Short Hills. Mention I told you to stop by. You'll get the Michael K. treatment.
Knicks 81, Pacers 64. Final 3 minutes of the third quarter. Brunson will get a free throw after a 4-point play opportunity. Looked like Obi Toppin kicked Brunson's feet on a closeout. I do not believe they went to review for a potential flagrant foul, as Timothy Chalamet and Ben Stiller are shown on the video board. And is that Pat McAfee's music? Is he about to curse out every Knicks celebrity fan in the building? No, that would never happen here at MSG.
How tasteless.
What was interesting is a lot of Pacer fans on social media responded to Ben Stiller. Stiller said, that would never happen at MSG. Pacer fans said, well, we know that the Knicks have had negative chants from their crowd at certain players, right? Or Reggie Miller in particular.
That is continue.
Completely different things.
Exactly.
What the Pacers did is they gave a mic to someone who encouraged fans.
On your PA. Like, this is a family-friendly environment.
Right.
We all have the... Actually, I don't know if they played here at the Knicks, but commonly through the NBA is the good sportsmanship guidelines that are displayed in everybody's big board.
And what I respect about the Knicks as much as anything, it's about basketball. Yes, it's about the spectacle and the celebrities, but there's no master of ceremonies, there's no mascot. It's the organ, it's the fans, it's the game. Brunson completes the 4-point play. McConnell into the lane, hung in the air, pass to Siakam. Spin move in the lane on Achua, and his former Toronto teammate denies him at the rim. Knicks on the break from right to left. Precious catches, drives, shoots, and scores, and one. And a right-hand fist pump from Precious as he draws the foul on McConnell. Knicks lead by 20 on a 10-0 run.
Let me just call out the professionalism of one Precious Achua. Since the last month or so of the regular season, has not seen his customary minutes that he had seen throughout the course of the regular season. We don't know. We don't have any intel to share on that. But for him to be prepared when his number is called to make a positive impact and not allow ego or pride to get in the way is something that is commendable and deserves to be acknowledged.
DeLon Wright will check into the game for Jalen Brunson. So it is Wright, McBride, Hart, Bridges, and Achua. So Achua is going to play the 5. We've talked a lot about these defense-heavy lineups, highlighted by DeLon Wright and Landry Shamet being inserted into the rotation as Achua backrooms the free throw. There's no reason Precious Achua couldn't bring that same kind of defensive intensity to make things tough on the Pacers. Toppin slips through a double team on the left elbow, hangs in the air, missed a righty layup in the restricted area, and Achua gets the rebound. Knicks by 20. 2:20 left in the third quarter. Wright and Achua a pick and roll. A pass to the left wing for McBride, rejects a right side screen from Achua, steps back to the left block, pulls up for 2, and sinks it over Mathurin. 22-point Knick lead.
These shots are so good by the Knicks. They're in rhythm, they're good looks, they're quality opportunities, they're deliberate.
And a steal from DeLon Wright. He's ahead of the pack. Reverse layup off the front rim as he adjusted in midair around Mathurin.
So cute.
Now Siakam gets torn down from behind on a fast break layup by McBride. No easy buckets, even up by 22. So a minute 52 to go in the third. Siakam will get free throws. It is 86-64 New York here in Game 5.
I admire DeLon Wright tremendously.
They're going to review this to see if it was a hostile act by Deuce McBride. If it is, I would love to see it compared on the late Tyrese Halliburton foul from Game 4.
Talk to him.
Which was not reviewed at all, but it's the exact same play to my hopefully unbiased eyes. 22-point Knick lead, a minute 52 to go. Zach Zarbo will give us the particulars.
Ruling on the floor is a defensive foul on McBride. The play is under review to see if it meets the criteria for a flagrant foul.
Knicks basketball on ESPN New York is brought to you by Michelob Ultra, official beer sponsor of the New York Knicks. Superior light beer. What do you think, Monica? We're going to get a replay view on the video board.
And by the letter of the law, this is not a basketball play. It's not a play on the ball. Spirit of the law, he goes down with Achua. There's no follow through. They might say that there's a wind up here. No, I don't think there's a wind up. There's no follow through.
I don't think this should be a flagrant foul, but the NBA and I maybe don't necessarily agree about what a flagrant foul is. Of course, player safety is paramount, so you trust the experts. But I'm going to guess no flagrant foul, keeping it consistent with the non-call on Tyrese Halliburton.
After review, there's no wind-up and no follow-through. The impact does not meet the standard for a flagrant foul, therefore a common foul stands.
Shout out to me on lingo. Got one. I think I've got more than one, but according to you, my record is 1,000. So, yay, we're going to go with that.
Very impressive. Yeah, I'm looking it up. 77 for 77. Wow, you're perfect on challenges all year.
Thank you so much.
152 left in the third quarter.
I love our statisticians. Make me look so good.
And instead of 2 free throws in the ball, it'll just be 2 free throws for Pascal Siakam. The Out-of-Town Scoreboard is brought to you by Best Trails and Travel. And the Out-of-Town Scoreboard does not exist right now. It's still brought to you by Best Trails and Travel, New York City's premier charter bus company. Visit them today for the ultimate travel experience at besttrailstravel.com. So, Adam Silver can maybe consider giving the loser of the series a bronze medal for their efforts. Just 3 teams left standing in the NBA playoffs.
Did I tell you I shared an elevator with Adam Silver today?
You did. How did it go?
He was very complimentary.
Of?
Me, by proxy, you.
I knew you were going to do that. People saying, Monica, you're great, does not mean we love the radio broadcast with Tyler.
It does. That's exactly what it means.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Monica. And she's had me on the MSG Network's pregame show the last 2 games.
I refuse to stand next to you anymore. You have your own segment. Take the microphone. I don't need to be in it.
Siakam got the first, but missed the second off the front rim. But Jarris Walker hops in and took the rebound away from Josh Hart, who's asking for a foul. Down the lane, Siakam dishes right to Mathurin. Baseline driver versus layup is good and 1. So already 3 points on this possession for the Pacers and a chance for another at the free throw line. The Knicks lead 86-67, but another late quarter moment where they could be letting Indiana back in it.
Definitely allowing them to get some confidence and some energy. And we talked about this in both games 1 and 2. Both of these teams typically feel very comfortable in the fourth quarter, even if they have to mount a comeback. And obviously, much to the chagrin of fans here, Game 1 is seared into the minds of the Knicks for being on the wrong side of history of a comeback.
As Monica said, from the very start of this game, when the Knicks got off to a nice 9-3 burst, forcing a Rick Carlisle timeout, there is a lot of basketball left to be played, especially the way Indiana can come back. Final 90 seconds before the fourth quarter. Both free throws good for Mathurin, 18-point game, but Shua dropped a pass at the foul line, but tipped it over to right. 2 to shoot, right Will from the left wing. Back rim, offensive rebound, McBride finds himself in the post, but now he dribbles back out to the right perimeter. Crosses over Mathurin, pull up from the free throw line, and he can't knock down the jumper. Rebound tipped by Hart. Tried to win the race from McConnell to the far sideline. McConnell tipped the pass out of bounds, far sideline. And the hustle from Hart will get the Knicks the ball back with 12 to shoot and 66 seconds to play.
I need to see a replay. My initial thought was, well, McConnell was helping Josh Hart out of bounds. Why is this not a loose ball foul? Either way, Knicks ball.
McBride inbounds to the far baseline. It is Bridges backing down Mathurin, dribbling with the left hand. 7 to shoot, gets to the dotted line, fade away, back rim, no.
I just want him to drop stuff the opposite way toward the basket.
Into the right corner, Siakam, defended by Achua, hands to the right wing for Mathurin. He'll speed to the right, block on the drive, sealed off by Hart, now posting him up. Try to rip through and draw a foul, no call. Passes up top to Siakam, spins to the free throw line, passes left to an open Shepherd. Left wing 3 is good. And the Pacers are back within 15 with 39 seconds left in the third.
One thing that you've lost with your group.
As Hart dribbled across midcourt, he got fouled by Jarris Walker. Inexperienced play for the second-year swingman will get Hart 2 free throws with 35 seconds left in the third.
One thing that you've lost with this group is your best rebounder. Obviously, Cat has 11. Mitchell Robinson has 6. Josh Hart tonight with 6 rebounds as well, and he's probably gotten a handful of, well, not handful, at least 2 or 3 of those in the moments without those 2 guys on the floor.
Let's pause 10 seconds to allow stations to identify themselves on ESPN New York and the MSD Radio Network.
Hey, this is Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson for 3.
And this is your home from New York Knicks basketball. This is 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS FM HD2, New York.
Josh Hart gets a front rim roll for the first foul shot. 87-71 Knicks. At the left side basket, he gets both. 88-71. 35 seconds left in the third. McConnell from left to right, dishes left to the wing for Mathurin. Screen from Siakam, pick and pop, baseline drive. Mathurin pulls up for a tough 2 and rattles it in over McBride. It can really be that 3-level score for this Pacer team, Benedict Mathurin, and it's back to a 15-point game. They don't quite get the 2 for 1, just a half second between shot clock and game clock. Knicks fans on their feet, sensing the final possession of the third quarter. 8 seconds left. McBride shovels to the right wing for Bridges. Defended by Shepard. Takes him to the foul line. Pulls up for a left elbow jumper and knocks it down. 1.8 to go. Knicks by 17. Inbound to Mathurin. He flopped, and they will not give him the call. Knicks wanted a double dribble. Mathurin wanted a foul. Referees are going to call a travel. Zach Zarba says it steps on Indiana. They're going to review to see how much time is left for the Knicks. We'll get a front court inbound with presumably
ruling on the floor is a traveling violation. Plays under review.
Fractions of a second you would have to imagine remaining, but with a 17-point lead, I think multiple times in this third quarter, Monica, the Knicks have righted the ship when it looked like the Pacers were going to have a typically strong finish heading into the fourth quarter.
Yes, and in the last 5 minutes or so, it's been a lot with this bench unit, and so Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns have the opportunity to get much-needed rest, as we know how pivotal fourth quarters have been. What are we reviewing?
The violation occurs with .6 on the game clock. It'll be New York basketball, front court.
Okay, I was literally about to be like, I know we're not reviewing whether or not that was a travel. It was about the clock.
It sure was. .6 is plenty of time to catch and shoot. As you know, Monica, the minimum amount to be able to catch and shoot in the NBA is 0.3.
Oh, I'm stuck on 4. I literally hold up a 4 as you say 3. 4 is seared into, because didn't Robert Horry hit a shot with 4?
Probably.
I just had 4 in my brain. Okay, but 3.
Oh, it's Derek Fisher.
Derek Fisher is what I'm thinking of, yeah.
So that was impressive, but it wasn't the bare minimum amount of time left on the clock. The Knicks have twice as much
I need
time.
to see it done in .3. Who did it in .3? We need to pull up some clips. I think it's 4.
Well, of course, a Knick legend, Trent Tucker, was the one who did it in .1, and that's when the NBA decided it was physically impossible. Knicks basketball on ESPN New York is brought to you by our local Kia dealers. Discover what happens when rugged capability meets true performance. Learn more at Kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires. So, back and forth third quarter in many ways, but the Knicks started it so well that they've still got a 17-point lead. We're seeing a heavy dose of bench scoring from Indiana. Their reserves have 44 points. The starters have just 29. And it's highlighted by Benedict Mathurin, who's 3 points away from back-to-back 20-point efforts after being mostly a no-show, respectfully, in the first 3 games of the Eastern Conference Finals.
I knew that he was going to get involved, and for our MSG Network's pregame show with Bill Pito, Alan Hahn, and Wally Zerbiak, I called Ben Mathurin as the X factor a game before he got going. Game 3, not much of a factor, but obviously in 4 and 5, he's come to the party ready to dance.
Far sideline inbound from Brunson. Knicks by 17. They've got .6 left in the third. Inbounding from the front court. To Towns in the middle. Catch and turnaround jumper. Air ball from the right elbow. He thought he got pushed by Turner. But the Knicks will settle for a 17-point lead heading to the fourth quarter in a must-win Game 5.
They're in good shape. But we all know that number 17 did not withstand the fourth quarter in Game 1. Now, I like to believe that this Knicks team is the type that learns from their mistakes, and there's going to be a level of attentiveness and that word, composed urgency, over this fourth quarter, not to allow such a lead to slip into a deficit for the Knicks. Especially, as we mentioned, this is it, potentially, if they don't get this win.
If you leave this game for the taking, Indiana's the kind of team that'll snatch it right from you. ThriveWell Infusion, New York's premier infusion and injection center, saving lives drip by drip. Knicks 90, Pacers 73. Indiana with a 3-1 series lead, with the Knicks 12 minutes away from forcing a Game 6, which would be on Saturday in Middle America. New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
Hear that? That's the beginning of a journey powered by the confidence that comes from driving a vehicle so reliable. It's backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Where your journey ends? Well, that's up to you. Visit your local Kia dealer today. Kia, movement that inspires. See retailer for warranty details. Always drive safely. Limited inventory available.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Ever stop and think about how connected our city truly is? Bridges, rails, towers, all connected by steel, paint, and plain old hard work. We're the New York Structural Steel and Painters Contractors Association. Since 1974, we've worked alongside our skilled partners at Local Union 806 to keep New York's infrastructure safe, sturdy, and visually appealing. From iconic landmarks like the Brooklyn Bridge and the World's Fair Tent of Tomorrow to hidden gems in every borough, our crews protect New York's history with pride and precision. Every day, commuters on the Throgs Neck Bridge, subway riders, and drivers crossing countless overpasses depend on our expertise. We're quietly there, daily, making your journeys safer and smoother. We know it's more than paint. It's about protecting, preserving history, and respecting our city. At the New York Structural Steel and Painters Contractors Association, we don't merely construct buildings. We foster enduring relationships. Visit nySSPCA.net and see how we keep New York connected.
90-73. Knicks with a lead over the Pacers as we begin the fourth quarter. This is Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Knicks are down 3-1 in the series. A series that has a total point differential of Pacers plus 11. So we're at this exact moment with a 17-point lead. The Knicks have actually outscored Indiana across the entire series, which is one of several reasons, including what we've seen so far tonight, that should give you hope that a win here this evening might not just be an isolated event. Knicks will have the ball to begin the fourth quarter. They're in the white uniforms tonight, going from right to left against the gold and blue of Indiana. To line right, Landry Shamet, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, and Karl Anthony Towns on the floor. Shamet gets into the left corner, steps back to the angle for a three, and rattles it in. Landry Shamet is red hot in the playoffs, although he had a foot on the line. It's a two-pointer.
Terrific energy to start this fourth quarter, and we've seen Wright and Shamet be a part of great stretches for the Knicks late.
Mathering caught it in the middle of the paint, hung in the air, and drew a foul on a layup, so free throws for him. What do you think, Monica? After the first offensive possession in the fourth quarter, Deuce McBride took a run down to the scorer's table. Was he maybe supposed to start the fourth quarter, but needed to figure something out first, tie his shoes, or did Tom Thibodeau see something so drastic in the first 30 seconds that he had to make a change?
Well, when you look at this group on the floor, do you want DeLon Wright executing the offense?
Well, you had 3 minutes during the quarter break to figure out what five guys you wanted on the floor.
This is true, and they're, humans. There's a little bit of miscommunication, and this is where we talk about maximum focus, maximum effort from all involved.
So as you say, we're gonna give some grace.
There you go. Now, let me just say this. In that fourth quarter, the Knicks had 5 turnovers and gave up 4 points off those turnovers. I don't like the 5, but I'll live with the 4 points considering that has been something that has plagued them through this series.
That's a really good point. It hopefully points to better communication and transition defense, which turned out to be the key to victory in the clinching Game 6 against Boston. Free throw's good for Matherin. He's 9 for 9 from the stripe, keeping the Pacers in it. Left corner, Anunoby catch and shoot. Three connects over Jarris Walker, and the Knicks have a 20-point lead.
I said coming into this one, this was going to require a high-efficiency night from the Knicks, and you've been able to get that.
McConnell with a mid-range jumper near side mid-post. 18-point game again. They get up and down the court so fast, the organist can hardly start the defense chant. Hart taking his time, 14 on the shot clock. Hands to McBride up top, and now up at the top of the arc on Turner. Jab step right, drive left at the free throw line, spins in the paint, gets right to the rim, but missed an easy right-hand layup. Towns was 8 for 12 before that bunny. In the right corner, Jarris Walker at the right elbow. Entry pass to Turner, tipped in the air by Shamet. Batted around by several Knicks, and it comes to Josh Hart. That steal made possible by Landry Shamet. 18-point Knick lead. Hart at the foul line, and he turned it over. Not sure what happened there, but he essentially handed it right to Pascal Siakam. Now Matherin on the break. It's a left-hand layup, and it's a 16-point game. Not just a turnover, but 2 points off the turnover, after Monica was praising the Knicks for limiting both.
This is why turnovers kill you, right? Like, it's become a double-edged sword. The Knicks do not need to rush at this point in the ballgame.
2 minutes gone by in the fourth. McBride, high side perimeter. Screen from Towns on the left. They'll go pick and roll. McBride, pocket pass to Towns, right to the rim, and he draws a foul on Turner. And Towns is bent over, holding the padding underneath the left side basket. Actually, they're going to call Kateris Walker for a foul reaching in from behind the play. Either way, free throws for Towns. It is Knicks 95, Pacers 79 with 9:52 to go in this fourth quarter.
Every free throw matters. Every possession matters. The Knicks have to continue to operate with smart basketball.
Towns erupted in the first half for a 17-point double-double, but they hardly needed him in the third quarter. He picked up his fourth foul. He's only had 2 points since, and that will continue as he misses the first free throw. The Knicks started 10 for 10 from the line, and then including 2 misses from Mitchell Robinson, they are 3 for 7 since then. Towns on the floor with McBride, Shamet, Hart, and Anunoby. Second free throw connects, 96-79. And you see a lot more willingness, at least to the naked eye, to just put Towns out there surrounded by 4 excellent defenders. It's been working tonight. McConnell, right side baseline drive, takes Shamet underneath the hoop, looking to create some space. Shamet stripped him out of bounds off of McConnell. Landry Shamet beckons the crowd, and they respond. Knicks force another Pacer turnover.
Outstanding defense. We had a call out for Precious Achiuwa in the third quarter for being ready. Same applies for Landry Shamet. And yes, he's had a little bit more time to get a feel for this series with the minutes that he's gotten on the floor, but continuing to give the Knicks what they need in the moments that he's given.
He's hearing his name chanted at MSG. Knicks ball from right to left. They're up 17, 9.5 to go in the fourth. Anunoby step back, right wing 3, back rim no. Rebound McConnell. Shamet missed the first 2 months of the season with a dislocated shoulder. It was not a guarantee that he would even make the team. In fact, the Knicks had to jump through a couple of hoops to draft him in the G League selection process, and now he's helping keep their season alive in the Eastern Conference Finals. Baseline drive on the near side from Siakam, gets into a reverse layup. Back to a 15-point game. Full court pressure as Anunoby brings the ball up court. He will wisely get rid of it to Deuce McBride, who can get it the rest of the way into the front court.
15 points is nothing with this team and in today's NBA. Time and score.
Shamet near corner 3, missed it short with Mathurin creeping. McConnell ahead from left to right, poked away by Hart. He'll pick it up in the right side paint, taking it coast to coast. Top of the key, hands to Towns. Euro step across the lane. He got stripped by Walker. It comes to Mathurin. And the Knicks are driving this car at 100 miles an hour when the speed limit's about 25. Far corner, Turner passed up an open 3. Walker gets a wide open look from the left wing and sticks it to make it a 12-point game with 8:10 to go in the fourth. Knicks are up by 22 not long ago.
You got to resist the human nature of getting tight here. Remember, after game 1, Josh Hart said that this team played not to lose as opposed to winning the basketball game. They got to get in this huddle, close ranks, have some real conversations with one another, and understand that they have to play smart basketball the rest of the way. This game is literally hanging in the balance, as is their season.
53 points from the Pacer bench. It's helped them hang around. From 22 down, it is now a 12-point game. Knicks 96, Pacers 84 with 8:04 to go in the fourth, which is plenty of time for perhaps the best playoff comeback team in NBA history. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Step inside an Infiniti QX60 and relax in uninterrupted comfort. Leave schedules, appointments, and meetings behind. That can definitely wait. Just turn on the available massage seats and unwind for just a little longer until you feel infinitely you. Discover more about the Infiniti QX60 crossover at InfinityUSA.com.
This is the sound no parent wants to hear. It's the sound of a child with whooping cough, one of the many dangerous childhood diseases that can be prevented by immunizations. Whooping cough can cause serious complications, including pneumonia, seizures, brain swelling, and even death. Babies are most at risk. The best way to protect your child against diseases like this is to get all your kids' shots on time and take them for regular checkups. Talk to your child's healthcare provider. A message from the New York State Department of Health.
Attention Knicks fans! Looking for infusion care that puts you first? Thrivewell Infusion specializes in delivering cutting-edge therapies for rare diseases and autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis and multiple sclerosis. Trusted by physicians across specialties, Thrivewell offers private state-of-the-art infusion suites and slam-dunk treatment from their highly trained medical team. From New York to New Jersey and across Long Island, experience care, comfort, convenience, and compassion like never before at a Thrivewell location near you. Find out more at ThrivewellInfusion.com. That's ThrivewellInfusion.com. Saving lives drip by drip.
Knicks fans, when deciding to take a charter bus, there's only one choice. That's Best Trails and Travel, New York City's premier charter bus company. Best Trails and Travel has the highest level of charter bus service in New York City and has been serving New York's leading corporations, professional sports teams, and private individuals for 30 years. They offer premier customer service and the newest fleet of buses in the industry. Whether you're traveling with family, friends, or colleagues, Best Trails and Travel guarantees you the ultimate traveling experience. Visit them at besttrailstravel.com or call 212-206-6974.
Indiana has a strong start to another fourth quarter. Knicks were up by 22 not long ago, but now it is a 12-point game. 11-6 advantage for the Pacers since the end of the third. 96-84 New York. 8:04 to go in Game 5. And we'll say it again, this is the first official must-win game of the year for the Knicks.
So we started this broadcast, and I called out the 114 mark. The Pacers are 11-0 when they get to 114 points. The Knicks need not to give up 30 points over the next 8:04, and statistically, they put themselves in a position to win. Beyond that, they've got to fight that feeling, as Josh Hart called out after Game 1, of trying to play not to lose versus playing to win.
We saw this five on the floor essentially play the final 7 minutes of Game 4 in Indiana. Brunson, Hart, Bridges, Anunoby, and Towns, the classic Knicks starting five. From right to left they go in the white uniforms against the yellow and blue of Indiana. Brunson takes Walker to the left side mid-post, reach in by Nembhard, poked it away. Brunson dives on the deck to get it. Whistle and a held ball signal between Brunson and Jarris Walker, who's now played 10 minutes after not seeing the floor in any of the first 4 games in this series.
So I had a Pacers game in Milwaukee early in the season. And I actually asked, because I was a part of Jarris Walker's draft class, I typically ask about guys that I remember. And Jenny Buchek, an assistant for the Pacers, was very complimentary of how he's just put his head down and decided to work.
And he wins the tip from Brunson. Got to be a hard worker to stay ready for moments like this when he spent a lot of time on the bench. Halliburton and Turner pick and pop. Turner step back left wing three. In and out. Thought his right foot was on the line, but Zach Zarba didn't see it. Doesn't matter, he missed it. Brunson at the foul line, backing down Halliburton, finds a wide open Towns up top, will take a three, missed it right. And Neesmith gets the rebound. Benedict Matherin's been on a heater, but he came out of the game. Tyrese Halliburton looking to take over late, although he's got just 6 points in 27 minutes. Entry pass to Turner out of his reach, bounces out of bounds right baseline, and perhaps for the first time tonight, you see the inexperience of Jarris Walker, who's hit with a turnover.
Now, that shot by Karl-Anthony Towns is one that he's capable of hitting. It is only a questionable shot because he didn't hit it. So I'm going to be honest and try to keep a mental tally here and see what happens over the course of this next 8:04.
Yeah, that's the shot you want every time from Towns, a rare miss from straight on. Hart left side drive, pump fake to get Neesmith off his feet, draws a foul and puts it in from the left side baseline. Big bucket for Josh Hart. It's a 14-point lead with a chance for a free throw.
Josh Hart has been up and down in this series, has been sacrificial in terms of coming out of the starting lineup, but in the win so far in this series, as the Knicks are trying to make it a second win, his performance late in the ball game was as big as anybody's, and it was about defensive rebounds and free throws.
Foul shot rattles out, however. He had made his first 3 of the night. Still, though, a 98-84 Knicks lead. 5 minutes into the fourth quarter, the lead by 14. Halliburton steps back to the right wing. Pump fake to 3. Good closeout from Bridges. They get it to Neesmith up top, who shuffled his feet, but no call. Halliburton back near the logo. It's a screen out high from Turner. Right wing is defended by Towns. Sidestep, pump fake, another pump fake. Now a give and go on the right side baseline. Hangs at the right block. Missed the layup. He wanted a foul. Rebound Towns got hit in the face by Neesmith. Long outlet to Brunson into the front court. High side wing marked by Nemhard. Turns the corner to the right elbow. Can't get past him. Now resets. Wants a screen from Bridges on the left side to get Halliburton onto him. And a cut from Bridges. Catches off the feet underneath the hoop. Gets it to Hart in a tough spot, but Hart scores anyway outside the restricted area. So 4 straight points for Josh Hart. Forces a Rick Carlisle timeout. And the Knicks lead is back up to 16.
Josh Hart is into double figures in this ball game. But check this out. The Knicks have doubled up the Pacers in paint scoring so far in this ball game, 52-26. Deliberate basketball. They got 621 of deliberate basketball on both sides of the floor, communication on defense, and smart plays on offense.
That's how you keep up with this Pacer offense, who has not cooled off from three-point land. They're at 40% again, with the Knicks dominating inside with a 100-84 lead with 6:21 to go in Game 5. New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSD Radio Network continues after this timeout.
Hey Knicks fans, be the MVP of your next summer barbecue or family dinner with the fresh taste of Calandra's Bakery Breads. Available at your local supermarket. Handmade daily with just 4 all-natural ingredients. From crusty Italian loaves to soft rolls and hearty multigrain, there's something for everyone. Since 1962, Calandra's Bakery has delivered fresh bread to supermarkets like ShopRite, King's, D'Agostino's, Key Foods, and more. Calandra's Bakery, the best in Italian and French breads.
When you open a Corona, you hear the sounds of wherever you are a little differently. A little more Corona. And you think to yourself, why am I just listening? Corona. La Playa awaits. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
You want to get the most for your money. That's why more Mazda buyers choose Ramsey Mazda. Lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-50 all-wheel drive, only $249 for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. Excludes tax, title, registration, 0 security deposit. VIN SN320885. MSRP $32,285 and $6,225.
If you think with your stomach, it's time to listen to your ears. Smashburger is calling you, sizzling for you, smashing 100% Angus beef patties all for you. The burgers are hot, the milkshakes are cold, the fries are crisp, and the next order up should and could be calling your name. But only if you listen to me, and your stomach, and your heart. Find the nearest Smashburger at smashburger.com.
Knicks by 16 with 6:21 to go in the fourth. Jason Derulo is here, Monica, you said?
Giveon,
yes.
Don't do the black people all look like bit.
I'm not doing that at all. That's exactly what you did.
I know. To be fair, I have also been like, who's that? Oh, same dude? No. Anyway.
Okay.
Just want to make sure everybody know that we are an HR-friendly, cultural, appreciative broadcast.
It's a beautiful thing.
Very diverse up here.
Benedict Matherin's going to come back into the game, and maybe no surprise how he's kept the Pacers alive. Looked like he came out initially for Tyrese Halliburton. Now they're going to play together here, along with Nesmith, Siakam, and Turner. Meanwhile, the Knicks have had half of their 100 points scored by Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. The first conversation we had today, Monica, in the television pregame show was about who could step up and make a difference. I thought it might be the role players, the wing stoppers, but man, the Knicks have gone to their all-NBA well, and so far it's come up aces with 30 for Brunson and 20 for Towns. But the Pacers are not going to give up to the final horn. Turner dropped a pass at the foul line, but it came to Mathurin left wing, and he sets up Nesmith, who missed the far corner three. And Anunoby gets the rebound at the midway point of the fourth quarter. Knicks by 16.
16 seconds on the shot clock. I have no problem with the Knicks getting down to 5 or below before they take a shot at this point in the ballgame.
I agree. Brunson at the logo, gets it to the right wing for Bridges, and now a pass back to Brunson near midcourt. Pick and pop with Towns, 3 to shoot. Left corner, Bridges attacks the foul line with 1, pulls up at the horn and rattles it in. 102-84 New York.
Mikal Bridges continues to be impressive in that mid-range. He came into tonight's contest shooting 9 of 13.
Turner, a hop step in the lane off a pass from Halliburton. He almost got stripped by Anunoby, but fed a baseline cutter Mathurin. He got tied up and then fouled by Bridges or Hart. Bridges is limping a bit, or at least walking through some pain, with his hands on his knees toward the far side arc at the basket to our right.
Now, I think as we continue to watch this fourth quarter unfold, you are reminded of how bombastic that fourth quarter performance by Aaron Nesmith was. And if the Knicks can avoid allowing someone to get hot like that.
Right elbow jumper, front rim, no, from Benedict Mathurin. Knicks will take it, 5:15 to go. 102-84 New York. Brunson drives far side, feeds a Cutting Hart in the paint, passes to the left corner for a covered Anunoby. Now they find an open left wing shooter. It's Towns who strong arms the three. And Halliburton picks up the rebound. 70-foot outlet to the right baseline front court for Siakam. Spins on the right block and makes a tough bank shot through some Bridges contact. It's a 16-point game with 4:55 to go.
Through 3 quarters, Karl-Anthony Towns was 1 of 2 from 3. He's not been able to connect from 3 in this fourth either, unlike the story in game 3, where he got it going everywhere in the fourth.
17 of his 20 points came in the first half. Brunson left elbow, pulls up for 2 over Turner. Connects! Jalen Brunson, 32 points. He's had at least 30 in all but 1 game in the series, and that was the game 3 win. Siakam up top, drives left, stonewall by Harper, then he spins back to the left elbow, gets to the cup, missed a lefty layup, good help defense from Anunoby. Rebound Hart, ahead to OG right wing, thinking about a far wing 3, but he'll cross over Turner instead. Down the lane, shows him the ball, several pump fakes, follow-away jumper is blocked. Rebound Hart, kick out Bridges, open corner 3. No, rebound tipped away from Hart over to Mathurin. 2-on-2 break from left to right. Mathurin slides around a charge attempt from Brunson and banks home a righty layup to make it a 16-point game.
Well, the silver lining in that is that Jalen Brunson does not pick up a foul on that play either.
If Bridges knocked down that three-pointer, it would be approaching white flag time for Rick Carlisle. Instead, the Pacers have a heartbeat, 104-88 Knicks. And they're draining a lot of clock here wisely with 3:40 left. 7 to shoot for Hart right wing. Now Brunson, top of the key, behind the back dribble, gets double team, finds Hart again, end of the shot clock. He tried to pass it across the defense, but he didn't have time to do so. It was stolen by Nembhard anyway. 3.5 to go. Right side mid-range. Siakam catches, drives baseline, got fouled by Towns, and I think correctly they say it's a foul on the floor, so the continuation layup will not count. But the 5th foul on Towns will. 3:26 left in the fourth. It is 104-88. Mitchell Robinson only played 19 minutes on Tuesday. He's at 20 minutes tonight. If you do need Karl-Anthony Towns to get a breather or maybe prevent him from getting that 6th foul, Obi Toppin will take off his warm-up and come in for Miles Turner.
All right.
And Jalen Brunson was signaling for a timeout from the near sideline. I don't think he wanted to challenge on anything. He just maybe wanted a rest for his team because once you go below 3 minutes, they make you have just 2 timeouts anyway. It's called a use it or lose it, which is a much simpler way of explaining it. But the Knicks have a 104-88 lead with 3:26 left in Game 5.
So I would not say that you are safe just yet, and I think the Knicks understand that. But what is happening as of late is they are getting deep into the shot clock, what the Pacers are living with, but they're sending 2 to Jalen Brunson. Everybody else on the floor has to be aggressive. That last turnover by Josh Hart, I'd rather him shoot the basketball, give the Knicks a chance at an offensive rebound than just be an assist to the Pacers setting up their offense on the other end.
They've been led by Brunson's 32 points, 5 assists, and only 5 misses all night. He's 12 of 17 and 4 of 6 from downtown. In the series, Brunson is 6 of 18 from three-point land, so he's made 1 of every 3. He's a much better three-point shooter than what he's shown. Now, Bridges, we were hoping he was catching fire with his 4 for 5 stat line from downtown in Game 4, but he's 0 for 3 this evening. So it really has been Brunson. I'll take the tremendous risk of doing mental math. Brunson's 4 of 6 from downtown. Everybody else is 4 of 21. So you've needed every bit of his 32-point effort this evening.
Yeah, and this is what you expect, though. We talked about the way Brunson has bounced back. This team has bounced back largely in terms of being 5-1 after losses, and Brunson is shooting 47% in those games after losses, averaging 32-8. So that's on par, 100% with who he's been in this postseason. The good news is Karl-Anthony Towns has decided to get on board with them. Josh Hart having a great rebounding game, probably will finish this one with a double-double, and then of course you're getting productive minutes from the Knicks bench.
We have not seen a very comfortable finish in any of the first 4 games in the Eastern Conference Finals. This should not be any different. The Knicks have a 104-88 lead for now, but the Pacers are coming. Halliburton leans in with a right-hand layup around Towns, who's playing with 5 fouls. It's a 14-point game, 3:12 to go in the fourth quarter. Josh Hart toward the near sideline at the left wing, defended by Siakam too aggressively. He'll reach in and foul him. It's another moment where he could have called that foul several pushes ago on Siakam. That'll be his second. Puts 14 back on the shot clock for the Knicks with 3:07 to go in the fourth.
I understand this lineup, as you've called it, is the original starting lineup for this season, but I do wonder if you consider putting another ball handler on the floor in McBride.
It's a fair question. You know the Pacers are going to pressure full court defensively. Brunson and Towns pick and pop. Brunson feeds the left corner for Bridges. Drive and kick right wing. Hart, extra pass, Anunoby, far corner three. Back rim. And the Knicks just cannot connect on that dagger. Offensive rebound poked away by Hart. And he'll grab it on the right wing. Towns pops to the far corner. Pump fake. Baseline drive. Righty dunk attempt. Drops in and one. Turned into a finger roll as he got hammered by Mathurin. And Towns has a chance at a three-point play. Knicks by 16.
And he makes the heads-up read. Yes, he can shoot threes, but tonight he's only 1 of 4 from the three-point line. With the game hanging in the balance and an opportunity to get to the free throw line, downhill basketball from Karl Anthony Towns is what is needed from the New York Knicks. He has an opportunity to go to the free throw line and add to this lead, where tonight he shot 3 of 4 from the free throw line.
I don't know if that slipped out of his hand on the dunk attempt, but
I'm with you, because I thought he was about to go on somebody's head.
Benedict Mathurin, to be specific, but he's checking out of the game. 23 points for Mathurin after 20 in Game 4. And Tyrese Halliburton will check out of the game for T.J. McConnell. The biggest difference so far in the series for Tyrese Halliburton this year versus last year, he really hasn't had any disappearing acts. There were a handful of them in that second round series against the Knicks last year. But tonight, after one of the best games of his career and the biggest game of his career, he only has 8 points in 32 minutes. And that might be it. Towns missed the free throw. Toppin can't connect on a straight-on three. And Hart crashes in for the rebound. 2.5 to go. Knicks by 16.
The one thing I will add to the Halliburton commentary is this is now, if this holds, the first series that has gone more than 5 games in the postseason for these Pacers.
Very interesting. Maybe the pressure ratcheting up here. Bridges off the catch. Feeds a wraparound pass to Towns. And a right-hand dunk. Makes it an 18-point Knick lead.
And the Knicks continue to apply pressure as far as paint scoring in tonight's contest. 26, plus 26 in the paint.
Nembhard misses a step-back right wing triple. Rebound Brunson. Final 2 minutes. 108-90 New York. Fans on their feet. They have not seen a home win in this series yet over these hated Indiana Pacers. 1:44 to play, 6 to shoot. Brunson, step back, right wing three. Back rim, no. Offensive rebound, Towns couldn't bank it in. And it comes to Toppin. He'll motor ahead from left to right. And the dagger three late in Game 4. Walker a triple off a dribble handoff. It's straight out of bounds, right baseline air ball with 1:28 to go. They've got a timeout from Rick Carlisle, as he has essentially surrendered Game 5. 108-90. Knicks in front with 1:28 to go. And if the Knicks can finish strong, you notice how tentative we are to declare this one over.
I know, we've seen some crazy things.
They will force a Game 6 on Saturday in Indiana.
It has been a strong team effort tonight. 5 players at double figures, including Josh Hart off the bench for the Knicks. Bridges 50% from the field, even though he's not been able to connect from the three-point line. While DeLon Wright did not score in his 9 minutes and Landry Shamet's 13 minutes, it's worth noting the way that defense held you.
I don't want to say that, once again, Knicks fans are the best in sports, even though they are. I'm sure other fan bases are sick of hearing it, but how many players who don't score a single point would get the kind of ovation checking out of a game like the Knicks fans gave to DeLon Wright here this evening?
No, that's a great point.
Really appreciate what he brings in all the little areas. But the big areas have been dominated by Brunson and Towns, who have just become the first pair of teammates to get 20 points apiece in the first 5 games of a series, of a conference final to be exact, since Kobe and Shaq in 2002. It's such a specific number we wouldn't tell you unless it was Kobe and Shaq. Again, 2 guys, 20 points a night for the first 5 games of a conference final, which is a 7 out of 10 on the convoluted stat meter, but impressive nonetheless.
All I know is they did something Kobe and Shaq were the last to do, and that
Thank you.
sounds impressive.
18-point Knick lead, final minute 20 in Game 5. Deuce McBride, Josh Hart, Landry Shamet, OG Anunoby, and Precious Achua on the floor. Right wing McBride, snatch back dribble and a feed to the left wing for Hart. 10 to shoot, a minute 15 to play. Bench has been emptied for Rick Carlisle, who looks very displeased with his hands on his hips along the far sideline. Achua left side baseline drive, pulls up for 2 and front rimmed it. And the chant here is Knicks in 7. It's the only way, folks. If not Knicks in 7, then what? Thomas Bryant from the far corner couldn't connect on a 3. Offensive rebound, Shepard. Up top for Walker, holds the ball high. Feeds Bryant underneath the hoop, and he was grabbed on the catch by Achua. So that is the 4th Knick foul of the quarter. It is 108-90 New York. And DeLon Wright, deservedly so, will come onto the floor to finish off this game, as OG Anunoby will check out. You know, it's his 2nd consecutive game shooting 1 of 7 from three-point land.
Which means he's due.
You read my mind.
Okay, Game 6, that boy going off. That man, that sir, that gentleman. Gotta be mindful of that boy. I mean it from a loving place, but not everybody can say that, so.
Fair enough. Josh Hart off an Achua's steal, knifes across the paint at the basket to our left, and gets fouled by Shepard on the layup. 43 seconds to go, and I think we can comfortably say, with an 18-point lead, the Knicks will win and force a Game 6 on the road in Indiana.
Impressive. And I don't know if it's our beautiful bird's eye view here, but they also don't look as tired as we've seen them in the last few games. Now, granted, you're talking about 80-plus shot attempts over the course of the last 2. Tonight, the Knicks got 88 shots up, but the Pacers are just at 73 with 42.9 to go. So the pace, much more favorable to the Knicks, and maybe that's a byproduct of them seeming to have some energy left.
Hart gets the first foul shot. Good to see a nice bounce-back game from him. 12 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Limited the turnovers this evening. Misses the second free throw, and then Deuce McBride fouls Shepard from behind at midcourt to allow Ariel Hukporti to come in, and Josh Hart to come out. First guy to greet him off the bench was about to be Brunson, but Robinson stepped in front of the captain to give him a high five first. Free throws for Shepard to the basket to our right.
A team effort. The turnover numbers, you still gave up 20 points off turnovers, but you survived that. I think the Halliburton stat line will be a story after what you and others. Are you calling his previous game perfect or just saying others?
I called it a 2-hit shutout, I think.
Okay, nice. It was an impressive stat line for sure.
Well, he shot below 50%, so I don't know why the P word was even brought up, but it was a very good game.
Since this is the only series that is left to be discussed, I'm sure folks will have lots to say about whether or not the Pacers demonstrated the necessary level of focus, about the Knicks still turning the basketball over, but having a far more efficient night than what we've seen more times than not in this series.
The Knicks in 7 chance continue at MSG as Hukporti catches off a pick and slip to close out the previous 2 series. The incredible overtime comeback win to knock off Milwaukee. It was so impressive that Tyrese Halliburton's dad had to be involved in the celebration. And in round 2, another comeback against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Honestly, this would have felt like if the Pacers had come back, it would have been a carbon copy of what happened to Cleveland. They were rolling in that game, but